What's up, everybody? 18 people in here. Happy afternoon, everybody. Get those heart me's in if you can. Get those heart me's in. Welcome, 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 welcome. What's up, Chris Mack? 20 people in here. Smash those likes. What's going on, Roswell? What's up, Mary Henry? What's up, Shani? What's going on, everybody? What we are trying to do in here today. What's up, Calypso? Share that live out as you come in. Y'all know what to do. 27 people in here. Lots to talk about today. A lot of shit to talk about today. Let's see. A lot of shit to talk about. Some shit just broke right now. What's up, roast beef? What's up, Tommy V? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I've got a good interview with Mehdi Hasan. Having an interview with Chris Cuomo from about a year ago, it makes Mehdi Hasan look very genius. It makes Chris Cuomo look pretty clueless, which I think he is these days. So I'm going to go over that today. A lot of crazy shit. Trump thinks he's owed like over $200 million for lawsuits against him for him breaking the law. Crazy. What's up, Stormy Whispers? We've got a Trump nomination. Did everybody already fucking hit those heart me's? Damn, thank you everybody on the heart me's. That was fucking crazy. Y'all did that rather quickly. We'll do some pumpkin carrot just because I love these. What's up, Stormy? What's up, LP Camp? So one thing I wanted to get into as we get going. Oh, also I started the book from Virginia Roberts. I'm just going to call her Virginia Roberts since the book got me flagged about 2 times yesterday and restricted. Just so happens the ballroom is also $230 million. Yeah, pretty weird, huh, Paul? So weird. Well, he said $250 million, so he's still a little short. But yeah, Lisa, thank you so much. Alice, thank you so much. Let's get those heartbeats in. Let's get those populars in. Let's get these pumpkin carriages in. Let's get all this shit in. Also, we only need 4 more things in the gallery. Y'all know how to do that. Alice, thank you so much. I just said African. Alice, thank you so much. Tiffany, thank you so much. Lisa Montgomery, Rob, thank you so much. Get those heartbeats, get those populace, get those pumpkin carriages in. So the first thing was a story yesterday about Trump demolishing the east wing of the White House. Actually, I'll give you a preview of what we're going to talk about today. Maybe I'll do this from now on. So we're going to talk about that demolition of the White House. We are going to go over a Mehdi Hasan interview with Cuomo yesterday, making his predictions if Trump won a second presidency. Makes him look pretty genius because he was pretty much spot on about everything, while Chris Cuomo seemed to be clueless in the dark. We are going to talk about some of the economic effects of the government shutdown. We are going to talk about one of Trump's nominations for the Office of Special Counsel. Some leaked text messages of him came out. Now his nomination looks like it's going to get blocked. These are some of the things we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about a J6er from that day in January 2021 made a threat to Hakeem Jeffries' life, and he got arrested. This was somebody that Quad D pardoned, by the way. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Virginia Roberts' book today. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But a lot of crazy shit happening. Debs, thank you so much for the pumpkins. Pamela, thank you so much for the heart me. What up, D? What up, Brenda? So everybody knows what to do as you come in here. Smash those likes. Tap that screen. Get your heart me's in if you can. Pumpkin carriage up top. Y'all know how we do this. Y'all know how we get pushed out in the algorithm. So let's try to fucking keep it going. It is Tuesday. Obviously, we'll come back this evening, too. But these are the issues that we're going to be talking about first. What's up, Nyla? Yep. So I want to start with the White House thing, because a lot of people were asking me about that. D, thank you so much for the Caterpillar. LP Camp, thank you for the October. Brenda, thank you for the pumpkin. Appreciate you. What up, D-Town? We're doing amazing in here. Tap and clap, share and care. Let's get up to 10,000 likes quick, fast, in a hurry. Let's also get up to 300 shares. I want to listen, but I'm so mentally sick because of all this craziness. I get that. I try to tie in some positive news, too. I try to make you laugh, too, to deal with all the craziness. But we are going to go over a few things today. The Mehdi Hasan interview was awesome because he was spot on. Well, Swims, I hope you're feeling better. That sucks. Yeah, make sure you're feeling better. Make sure everybody's protecting their health, their mental and physical health. Yes, make sure that we do that, okay? What are we going to do here? I'm sharing this live out a couple more times. Just give me a second. Trying to make sure that everybody has fucking invites in here. is what I want to do. So we got a lot of people in there. Leah, thank you for the populars. Get those heart me's in. Share the live pumpkin carriage up top. Let's get to 10,000 10,000 likes. What's up, son? Miss Piggy, thank you so much. So the first thing I wanted to start with was the question about him destroying the east wing of the White House, okay? This is crazy as shit. Okay, hold on. Which one am I on right now? Oh, that's a different story. Nickel, thank you. Son, thank you. D-Town, thank you. D, thank you. There's so much crazy shit. I don't even have the story. I don't even have all my stories up right now. Okay, so obviously everybody saw that the east wing, part of the east wing was being destroyed yesterday. There was dramatic photos of the demolition work show construction equipment tearing into the east wing facade and windows and other building parts in tatters on the ground. Trump Quad D announced the start of the construction of a social media post that referenced the work while hosting the 2025 LSU Tigers baseball team, the championship team. He noted the work was happening right behind him. He said, "We have a lot of construction going on, which you might hear periodically. It just started today." The White House has moved ahead with a massive construction project despite not yet having approval from the National Capital Planning Commission. They are responsible for approving the construction work and major renovations to all government buildings in the Washington area. So again, when I said it probably wasn't legal, probably not legal. But again, he tends to push the envelope and do things that may not even be legal and force people to stop him, right? That's kind of the name of the game with him. The chairman of that commission, his name is Will Scharf. He's also a White House staff secretary, of course, and one of Quad D's top aides. He said at the commission's September meeting that the agency does not have the jurisdiction over demolition or site preparation work for buildings on federal property. I think that's incorrect. What we deal with is essentially construction, vertical build, Scharf said last month. It's actually unclear whether the White House had submitted the ballroom plans for the agency's review and approval. Chris Mack, thank you so much for the level up. I appreciate that. The White House did not respond to a request for comment, and the commission's offices are closed because of the government shutdown. Of course. The Republican president, Quad D, had said in July when the project was announced that the ballroom would not interfere with the mansion itself. It'll be near, but it's not touching it and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of, he said of the White House. Quad D, that's what Quad D said today. The East Wing houses several offices, including one of the First Lady. It was built in 1902 and has been renovated over the years, with a second story added in 1942. Triple K Levitt, Caroline Levitt, that beautiful lips, those beautiful face, that beautiful brain. She said that the East Wing offices will be temporarily relocated during construction and that the wing of the building will be modernized and renovated. She claims nothing will be torn down, although we're seeing the destruction. That's what she said when she announced the projects in July. Quad D also insists that presidents had desired such a massive ballroom for 150 years. I mean, he would know. He's probably about that age. Adding that the massive 90,000 square foot project, glass-walled space behind the East Room, which is the largest room in the White House with approximately 200-person capacity, is too small. He also said he does not like the idea of hosting kings, queens, presidents, and prime ministers in pavilions on the South Lawn. Tap that screen, everybody. Get your heart me's in. If you are in here for the first time, we've got 5 pumpkin carriages up, too. The quicker that we hit these goals, the more likely we will be featured on the For You page. So try to, you know the name of the game. You know how this algorithm works. Yeah. Try to fucking hit those. That would be amazing. Right above my head, 5 of them. Okay. Trump said in a social media announcement that the project would be completed with zero cost to the American taxpayer. He just says anything. Okay? The White House ballroom is being privately funded by generous patriots, great American companies, and yours truly. He hasn't announced those companies. He hasn't announced what companies and how much they are funding this project with. He also hasn't announced how much he's funding it with. We know he doesn't pay for anything, so I doubt that any money would actually be coming out of his pocket. Lisa. Win Lisa Montgomery. She loves the diamond. Pew, pew. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that so much. Win Lisa in the chat. 50 dubs for Lisa Montgomery. She is the top gifter in the live. We just got on about 5 minutes ago, and she blessed me with an absolutely beautiful diamond pew pew. Thank you so much. And then Shorty, 50 dubs in the chat for Lisa Montgomery. I appreciate it. Shorty getting us kicked off with the pumpkin carriage. I appreciate you so much, Shorty. 50 dubs in the chat for Shorty as well. I appreciate both of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you tremendously. Thank you so much for getting us kicked off here today. Thank you. DJ Paul, thank you for the heart me. If you don't have your heart me's in yet, get those heart me's in. Appreciate it. I love that one too, Lisa. It's beautiful. We have many beautiful ones in the gallery today. Only 4 gifts left in the gallery, by the way. Yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. MAGAs are all in on the cover. Yeah, I think so, Freeway. We're going to get to that, too, because Virginia Roberts came out with a book, and this is not going to be a good week for these MAGA Republicans that are trying to block the swearing in of Adelita Grijalva in Arizona to apply a full House vote to release the files, to force the DOJ to release the files. So we know what it is, okay? Crazy, crazy, crazy work. Laura, thank you so much for the rose. What's up, Journey? Okay, at a dinner hosted last week for some of the wealthiest business executives who are donating money towards the $250 million construction cost, Susie flashing lights. Thank you, Sushi. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. What's up, Journey? Thank you so much. Thank you, Laura, for the rose. I appreciate that. What's up, Biatch? That's her name, folks. Her name is Biatch. I'm just saying her name. Everybody smash those likes to 25,000 likes. Appreciate you. Trump said the project had grown in size and will now accommodate 999 people. The capacity was 650 seated people at the July announcement. The White House has said it will disclose information on who has contributed money to the Build a Ballroom, but is yet to do so. Big fucking surprise. Yeah, big fucking surprise. This is the most transparent administration of all time, but we're not going to tell you shit. We're not going to tell you how much it costs. We're not going to tell you who's donating and how much they're giving. We're not going to tell you. This is the most transparent administration in history, except we're not going to tell you shit. Yeah. So, Carrier is honored to provide the new iconic ballroom at the White House with a world-class, energy-efficient HVAC system, bringing comfort to distinguished guests and dignitaries in this historic setting for years to come, the company said in an email statement. Again, no information on how much money is being donated, by who, nothing. Of course. So that was in the news today, okay? That was in the news today. What's up, Journey? Thank you, Journey. We got 4 more pumpkin carriages up top. We are doing amazing work in here. I appreciate everybody that's in here, rocking out with us every day. Everything. I appreciate it. Share that live out. Sweet. What is that? Sweet Melissa, thank you so much, Sweet. D-Town, thank you. Grateful, thank you for the heart me. T-Money, thank you for the shares. Get those shares up to 400, 500 shares. We're doing awesome in here. Another story that broke today. There's a few current events. I'm going to actually spend the majority of the day talking about this beautiful Mehdi Hassan interview with Cuomo. Thank you, Kim, so much. Win Kim in the chat. 25 doves for Kim in the chat on that pumpkin carriage. And congratulations to Kim, too. 50 dubs in the chat. She has reached level 35 gifter in our live. Thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you. I am going to be very careful about my words today when I'm talking about Virginia. I'm going to call her Roberts. For the sake of her book, we're going to get into a little bit of that. Not all of it, but I did purchase the book yesterday. Got it delivered to my Kindle, and I have been reading it on it's all computer. I've been reading it on my computer today, this morning, and it's a doozy. You find out a little backstory about her broken home, her life with her mother and father. The crazy thing is, like, this dad consistently dropped her off at Schmepstein's house with Ghislaine. It's crazy work. I don't know how he hasn't been charged with something. Insane work. Crazy. Okay. So we covered that first. Another story that broke today. I don't know if you heard about this. Pardoned Capitol rioter was arrested for allegedly threatening to unalive Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, this happened today. A man who was pardoned by Quad D after storming the U.S. Capitol on that day in January 2021 has now been arrested on a charge that he threatened to unalive House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Law and order. We want to eliminate crime.
Yeah, New York State Police say Christopher Moynihan was arrested today after they were advised by the FBI that he had made threats to unalive a member of Congress. Yeah. Court documents show his arrest came after he allegedly texted his plan to unalive Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, this is what's going on. Penelope, thank you so much for the heart me's. Thank you so much for the populars. I appreciate that. Patty, thank you so much. Can anybody say they're surprised by this? Moynihan is 34 years old. He was arraigned in local court in Clinton, New York today. He was remanded to the Dutchess County Justice and Transition Center in lieu of $10,000 cash bail, a $30,000 bond, or an $80,000 partially secured bond. He is scheduled to appear in court on Thursday. Yeah, crazy. I think they can be, Jesse, but not. You can't put. They can't be charged twice for the same crime. So I'm sure they can be. Yeah. But how is that going to look exactly when you're saying that you are trying to get criminals off the street? You're doing it for a second time. He faces a felony charge of making a T group threat. How could you say that you're trying to attack and eliminate T group threats, and then someone that's charged with T group threats, you pardon again? So I don't really know. In a statement Tuesday, Jeffries noted Moynihan was pardoned on Quad D's first day in office. Since the blanket pardon that occurred earlier this year, many of the criminals released have committed additional crimes throughout the country, he said. Unfortunately, our brave men and women in law enforcement are being forced to spend their time keeping our communities safe from these violent individuals who should have never been pardoned. Couldn't agree more. Moynihan was sentenced in 2023 to 21 months incarceration, 36 months supervised release. He received a full pardon along with more than 1,500 other defendants who were charged with crimes related to the storming of the U.S. Capitol on that day in January 2021. Yeah. While many people had no record prior to committing crimes on that day in January, NPR identified dozens of defendants with prior convictions for crimes including rape, essay of a minor, DV, manslaughter, production of underage SA material, and illegal substance trafficking. That includes Matthew Huddle, who was pew-pewed and unalived by law enforcement during a traffic stop in Indiana days after receiving a pardon. Yeah, Moynihan's arrest comes amid rising threats to lawmakers. The Capitol Police told NPR in a statement in September its agents were on track to work through roughly 14,000 threat assessment cases by the end of the year. A dramatic spike from case workloads in previous years. Another example of right-wing attempted political violence. Yeah, when you hear the right wing saying it's mostly left violence, wrong. Another case of right-wing political violence against a Congress member. So I had to share that today. More proof of right-wing violence. We've got to call it out as we see it. More right-wing political violence, more right-wing political violence, and more right-wing political violence. This is not a liberal. This is not a fucking leftist. This is not a Democrat. More right-wing political violence. I'll say it again. More right-wing political violence. I don't know how many fucking times I got to say it, but I'll continue to say it. Caddy, thank you so much for the follow. If you are new here, make sure you drop a follow. If you found us on the For You page, drop a follow. We need to get 5 followers every fucking show. So we'll continue to scream from the mountaintops, more right-wing political violence. Say that, go into a MAGA Live and just repeat it. Maybe it will sink in. I doubt it. Tim T, thank you so much for the pumpkin carriage. I appreciate you. Win Tim T in the chat. 50 dubs for Tim T. Thank you, Tim T. We only need, what, 2 more of those? 2 more of those to meet that goal. We're doing amazing in here. I love y'all. We're doing it. We're going to have a pretty packed fucking show today. Deb, thank you so much for the October. So I hope you have the patience of listening to me. Marissa, Mauling Marissa, we love you. Somebody gave away your kitty yesterday. They took your kitty again, Marissa. So we might have to do something else with you in the gallery. Thank you, Marissa, on the pumpkin carriage. We love Marissa. Drop that Mauling Marissa sticker. 25 dubs in the chat. Somebody took Marissa's kitty in the gallery yesterday. So all we have left is an Interstellar. We've got a party on and on, a Lion in the Uni. So maybe Marissa, if she's kind enough, if any of those interest her on the Interstellar, her kitty was taken. But you can still throw the kitty, too. I think we had this discussion, too. So, Marissa, just because your kitty was taken doesn't mean that you can't still throw a kitty. You can always throw your kitty anytime you want in the kingdom. But somebody did take your kitty. I think it was, what's that? Is she? So Shauna goes, what does that mean? She likes to light up the mini Leon kitty in the gallery every week. And last week somebody did it before she did, and she said, somebody took my kitty. And so it was like kind of an inside joke. And I said, you can throw your kitty in the kingdom whenever you want. Yeah. Thank you, Steve Rod. So that's what I know, T-Money. I'm getting to it, brother. I've got my sources. Yeah, if I don't talk about something, I'll likely get to it. So don't worry. I go through a list. I have notes that I go through on every show. We will talk about it, T-Money. Yeah. So even though somebody I said you got to protect the kitty to Marissa. So even though somebody took her kitty in here, she can always throw the kitty whenever she wants. It's the Leon. It's the, what is that? It's a little Leon. I think it's called a Leon kitten. I think it's a Leon kitten, right? One more pumpkin carriage up top. Yeah, Leon Kitten, I believe it's called. Yeah, Leon the Kitten. That's what it is. Yep. So that's also known as Marissa's kitten. Marissa's kitty, okay? The Interstellar you can find by just going, Lisa, to the, if you tap on my icon at the top left of your screen, you're going to see something, something's going to pop up and you can just see like gift gallery. Just click on it. The Interstellar is in there. It's also in the toolbox. I might, after we get one more pumpkin carriage, I'll probably put it up as the goal anyway if you can't find it. There's a Yorkie behind me. Yes, I always have two Yorkies fucking creeping behind me. They like to be on a perch. Okay, so we'll get to the $230 million thing. We'll get to $230 million thing next. But another story, another candidate that Trump was going to nominate for the Office of Special Counsel, some more racist messages were just fucking leaked. And now actually Senate Republicans are acting like this isn't who they are, which I don't get because we all know it is exactly who the fuck they are. They're acting like they are surprised by this and are not going to confirm him. So what happened is his lead candidate to be the head of the Office of Special Counsel, I believe his name is Ingracia, I don't know how you say his last name, Paul Ingracia. Some text messages were leaked. Several Republicans now, Journey, thank you so much for the relaxed goose, including Senate Majority Leader John Toon, have now signaled they won't support Ingracia or don't see him being confirmed. He's scheduled to appear on Thursday before the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, which holds a slight 8-7 GOP majority. Senator Rick Scott, a member of the panel, told reporters Monday he did not support Ingracia per the New York Times. Senator Ron Johnson, who also sits on the committee, reportedly called on the White House to pull his nomination. This stems from Politico reporting that Ingracia used an Italian slur for black people in a text chain with a half a dozen Republican operatives and influencers, again being racist. At one point, a participant told him he was coming across as a white nationalist, which is beneficial to no one. Thank you, Shorty. I appreciate the pumpkin carriage. Win Shorty in the chat. Y'all fucking did 25 dubs in the chat for Shorty. Y'all are awesome. Y'all knock those down quick, fast, in a hurry. But again, this is what is anybody actually fucking surprised? Look at who they honored after his passing, after his life was taken from us. Charlie Kirk. He said shit like this all the time. What? And they love him. They try to donate. They try to fucking designate a holiday for his ass. Why is anybody surprised by any of this nonsense? All right, one Interstellar. It's all we need to light up at the gallery. I put it above my head if you can't find it. Right above my head. 0 for 1. All we need is 1. Okay. Ingracia replied, defending our founding isn't white nationalist. He later wrote in his text chain, we should celebrate white men and Western civilization, and I will never back down from that. Ingracia's lawyer, whose name is Edward Andrew Paltzik, said in a statement shared with Axios, even if the texts are authentic, again, here we go, deny, they clearly read as self-depreciating and satirical humor. I don't think Republicans know what satire is. Making fun of the fact, Lisa. Win Lisa in the chat. Absolutely unbelievable. Thank you so much, Lisa. 50 dubs in the chat for Lisa Montgomery. She just lit up an Interstellar. I appreciate you so much, Lisa. Win Lisa Montgomery in the chat. 50 dubs. Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm so grateful. Y'all are fucking unbelievable. Y'all trying to get this gallery lit up by fucking Wednesday of this week would be absolutely amazing. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, Lisa. Unbelievable. We're gonna do a couple money pew-pews to keep us going on. We are amazing. Thank you, Lisa, so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you. So, he said that this type of humor was making fun of the fact that liberals outlandishly and routinely call MAGA supporters schmazzies. Thank you, Marissa. Marissa just threw 2 kitties. She threw her kitty twice just so she can be the fucking title gifter of Leon the Kitty. You didn't have to. You don't have to give away your kitty twice in here, Marissa, on a Tuesday. Thank you so much, Malda Marissa. Drop that Malda Marissa sticker. Drop that Tiger Queen sticker. She just gave up the kitty twice So she could be the title gifter of the kitty. What's up, Linda? That's when you know that gift is yours, when you give up the kitty twice in the kingdom. Thank you so much. Drop that Tiger Queens. Drop that bottom Marissa sticker. Drop 50 dubs in the chat for 2 for Tuesday. I appreciate it, Marissa. I know your games. I see what you're doing. She threw the kitty twice. She said nobody's fucking going to control this kitty. Thank you so much, Marissa. I appreciate you. So he added that Ingrassia has incredible support from the Jewish community because Jews know that Mr. Ingrassia is the furthest thing from a schmatzi. Well, that also isn't true because today, one of the Jewish groups withdrew their support for Ingrassia. So that is also a lie. So they no longer twice in the same week, crazy work, twice in the same live, throwing the kitty. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, folks, we got 5 little money pew-pews. Everybody can get involved with those. I'm just doing little shit. I'll rotate little shit that we got to light up. I appreciate that. If you'd rather make a contribution to the live through C app, through Vimo, you know where to do that. Link tree in the bio. $100 goal every day in case somebody wants to contribute that way. Loving Critters, thank you so much for the money pew pew. Tiff D, drop that Tiff D sticker. Thank you so much on the money pew pew. Thank you for the donut, Mama Wolf. Marissa definitely has the best kitty on the fucking TikTok. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mama, thank you so much for the heart signal. She is in tune with the kitty for sure in the live. Yeah. So, yeah, the J groups, the Jewish groups actually withdrew their support for Ingrassia. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. By the way, Ingrassia has ties to figures known for platforming anti-Semitism and bigotry, including the self-proclaimed misogynist Andrew Tate. If you don't know who Andrew Tate is, he's one of the most vile, disgusting human beings on the planet. So go look him up. Also, Ingrassia has advocated for Nick Fuentes, another racist, YT nationalist piece of shit, and other descendant voices to be given space in conservative politics. So you know Ingrassia is a real winner. Again, if the shoe fits, I don't know how many fucking times we got to tell MAGA, this is your party. A bunch of racist, misogynist scumbags. I don't know what else you have to fucking see. Charlie Kirk, Ingrassia, Nick Fuentes, all these fucking people, Andrew Tate. Do you think they're liberals or associated with liberals in the left? Or are they usually associated with the right? I don't know why you fucking deny reality. It's crazy. Do groups like the Triple K, do the P-Boys, what's the other one? Do the Oatmeal Keepers, are these groups associated with the left or the right? I'll wait. Notice how we have no MAGAs in the chat today, which I love. Tap that screen, everybody. Thank you, Patty, so much for the money pew pew. I appreciate that, right? It's so weird. Isn't it weird? I call them the Oatmeal Keepers because you never know. I get flagged for reading on here. So I got restricted twice yesterday for reading. Must have been some MAGAs.
I hate when people can read. Fucking hate reading. I can't read. I hate when people have all those teeth, too. Fuck your teeth, man. Fuck your teeth. Your straight, white fucking teeth. I fucking hate you.
The Oatmeal Keepers, that's perfect. Yeah, so I just call them the Oatmeal Keepers. Yeah, so that happened today, too. Coley Cole, I love to meet Tate in an alley, right, Chris Mack? Why are Democrats so angry? Which Democrats are angry? I don't know if you just joined us, 702. FISA. Yeah, okay, Survivor. I don't know if you just heard one of the J6ers that was pardoned actually threatened to unalive Hakeem Jeffries, was arrested and charged today. Not a Democrat, by the way. Name me any of the Democrats that are doing that. FISA survivor. Name me any of the Democrats that are doing that. I'll wait. Name any Democrat that has threatened to unalive a Republican Congress member. I'm still waiting. We can give you some music in the meantime while you search for an answer. No, Hakeem is not answer. I just asked you a question. Don't fucking say something about Hakeem Jeffries. Give me an answer. Name any Democrat that has threatened the life of a Congress member on the other side. And while we wait, we can play some music for you. I can play a little theme song for you. Thank you, Shauna. Still waiting on an answer.
That fucking thing.
Still waiting on an answer.
Can we just put that little thing away? That has got to be the smallest dick I have ever seen in my whole life. Get the fuck out of here. Man. Don't want no short dick, man.
So no answer? Steve Scalise. When did that happen? What year was that? Was that current? How about the Republican that unalived Melissa Hortman a few months ago? And attempted another Democratic family. And attempted to attack AB clinics. So do you think it happens more often on the right or more often on the left? You brought up Steve Scalise. How long ago was that? I can find plenty of examples here. Had a list of Democratic fucking officials that he was going after, and AB clinics. But you want to bring up Steve Scalise, and are we sure that was a Democrat too? Was it? I don't know. I don't know much about that. I know about the event. I don't know if he had a manifesto. I know Melissa Hortman had a manifesto. I know this J6er had a manifesto because they put it in writing. So all you had was Steve Scalise? Okay, so you don't have many examples, huh? Melly, thank you so much. That's what I thought. Yeah, I didn't think you'd have anything current because you don't. What's up, Coffee? And we went over this too. Yeah, you are absolutely right. All the political violence, about 75% of the political violence, 2014, yeah, is right wing fucking motivated. How about let's talk about this. How about fucking that day in January in 2021? Which multiple Democratic lawmakers had their lives threatened. Shit, even the vice president was threatened with a noose. Fucking crazy, huh? Now you tell me it's left-wing violence, though. Was that a bunch of liberals out there on that day in January trying to stop the confirmation of an election that a Democratic president won? That makes sense to you?
It was Democrats and undercover Democrats in the FBI that started that on J6.
Yeah, they wanted to stop the election of their own candidate, huh?
It was Democrats.
That makes sense to you?
They wanted to stop their own guy from being president.
Yeah, that makes sense, huh? They get real quiet, don't they, with all this right-wing violence? Aquarius star, crazy, right? Yeah, and then because all those Democrats caused that day on J6 in 2021, Trump decided to pardon 1,500 liberal Democrats, huh? On his first day in office. That makes sense to you too, MAGA Mush Brains? Yeah. What's up, Mount Negro? What's up, Z-Pac? We need 2 more money pew-pews up top too. We're doing amazing. Great start to the live. We're going to get into a Mehdi Hassan fucking interview with Cuomo about a year ago before the election. Shows you how fucking clueless Chris Cuomo is. Shows you how intelligent and the ability to have such foresight of what's going to happen. I mean, we talked about it in this live before the election. What it would look like if Quad D won again. And we had a bunch.
No, that won't happen.
Like Chris Cuomo.
No, that won't happen. Our institutions are too strong.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for the money pew pew. Coffee, thank you for the money pew pew. Who just hit another money pew pew? I didn't see who did that last one. Thank you for the populars. Thank you for the money pew pew. Who the fuck was that? KD, thank you for the money pew pew. Kathy, thank you so much. Coffee, thank you so much. Win everybody in the chat. We are doing amazing work in here today. We're just rotating what we see, what we got left of the gallery. We only got 3 things left. Lion, Party On and On. I'll probably go back to pumpkin patches or something if we can hit one of these. I love the pumpkin patches. I love this time of year. I don't mean to get off topic, but I absolutely love the fall. It starts cooling down to a brisk 88 degrees out here in Scottsdale. The fall is coming. It's only 88 today. I think it's supposed to be 91. It's starting to cool down. Pumpkin pie is in Costco. It's a brisk 88, Mike. It's beautiful. The sun is out. Chris Cuomo's turned into a nut. I know, right? Yeah, progressive, 88 degrees in Scottsdale. I think it's supposed to be 91 today. It's freezing here, about 50 in Ohio. That is freezing compared to us. DJ Paul, thank you for the confetti. Travel, thank you for the popular. What's the lowest you guys get where we are? In the winter, at night, we can get into the low 40s. I'm talking like 42, 44 degrees at night. Okay, so nothing really below that. It's rare. Like 3 years ago, we did get snow flurries one day, and they stuck on the ground for about 20 minutes, and then they melted. But that was about it. Usually in the winter, it doesn't get below 50 degrees during the day, like 50, 55. So hoodie weather, sweatshirt weather. That's about as cold as it gets in the winter. And then usually by February, we have, Arizona is a good place for the Super Bowl. So we have the Super Bowl, we have the Waste Management Golf fucking tournament, which is crazy. Usually during that week, it's already up to 77, 81 degrees. Yeah, usually it's up to 77, 80, 81 by February. So 64 in New York, that's nice. Tariffs, we're going to get to that too, by the way. So we got a couple things. Next, another story today as we got sidetracked by the weather. Keep smashing those likes, everybody. Let's get up to 100,000 likes if we can. I got the party on and on. I'm just going through things that we need in the gallery. So I'll put it up there for 20 minutes. If we don't hit it, I will change it to something else. 82 here in LA. Yeah, I'll give you the actual temperature right now. Scottsdale temperature might be a little, it's 87. Sorry, it's cooled down to 87. As of about 2 p.m., it's 87 degrees. It's going to be 89 tomorrow. And then we get a little cold front that comes through. Paula, thank you so much. We have a little cold front that comes through on Thursday. It's going to drop down to 81 degrees. So we got that cold front. And then Friday, it's going to be 83. Saturday, 83. Sunday, 84. Monday, 84. Tuesday, 83. I'm bougie in Scottsdale, 81. I don't know if I don't control the weather. I wish that I can control the weather. We'd never have any cold anywhere. Lorenzo, thank you for the share. I don't like winters, folks. It's not in me. 82 in Jacksonville, that's very nice. So, yeah, beautiful day here, 87. Not a cloud in the sky. Sunny, beautiful. All right. Let's get to the next story that I'm slumming in Ahwatukee. Oh, Ahwatukee's nice. What the fuck are you talking about? Ahwatukee is really nice. I like Ahwatukee. Bexy, what's going on, Bexy? So, Trump now... this is fucking crazy. This is an actual real thing. Trump said that he is demanding the Justice Department to pay him $230 million. Yeah. That's what he's saying today. He said that he is owed $230 million for past criminal cases and investigations against him. This is today. Senior department officials who were defense lawyers for the president and those in his orbit are now in their jobs that typically must approve any such payout, underscoring potential ethical conflicts. He is just going to try to take another $230 million from the government. And he has put people in places in the government that is going to allow him to take it. This is why when people come in here and laugh about, we're not going to pay a dime for that ballroom. Yes, we are. He's about to take government money to pay for it. Our tax money. He's going to take government money to fucking pay for this ballroom. I told you, he doesn't pay for shit. He didn't even want to pay fucking Stormy Daniels $100,000. She deserved about $1 billion for sleeping with Quad D. He had to have MC cut the check. He didn't even want to pay Karen McDougal's. I guess we're the private donors, right, Mike Fusco? That's why I said it would be fucking great if we could actually see what these private donors were actually contributing to the ballroom. Yeah, crazy. Maybe, madam. That's a possibility. Yeah. Quad D is demanding the Justice Department pay him about $230 million in compensation for the federal investigations into him. So he breaks laws. He gets investigated or charged for crimes, and then he blames people for actually investigating those potential crimes. They added that any settlement might be ultimately approved by senior department officials who defended him.
I voted for Trump to root out corruption and fraud.
This is corruption, folks. Right in front of your fucking face. MAGAs deny it. He's going to steal $230 million from the federal government. That's what he's going to do. And the people that would be responsible for seeing if he actually can get this money are people who are already his legal representatives in previous fucking capacities. This situation has no parallel in American history. Trump, a Quad D candidate, was pursued by federal law enforcement and eventually won the election, taking over the very government that now must review his claims. It's also the starkest example, I'm reading from the New York Times, by the way, yet of potential ethical conflicts created by installing the president's former lawyers atop the Justice Department. Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, these are just examples. We can go on and on and on and on. Yes, James Bond. This is corruption. This is what authoritarians do. I'd love a fucking MAGA to come in here and defend this. You can't. Notice how fucking quiet MAGAs are today? Quad D submitted complaints through an administrative claim process that is often the precursor to lawsuits. The first claim, lodged in 2023, seeks damages for a number of purported violations of his rights, including the FBI and special counsel investigation into Russian election tampering and possible connections to the campaign. We've been over this. His own guy, Marco Rubio, who was on the fucking lead Senate committee, investigative committee at the time, confirmed that Russia fucking meddled into the election. It was actually his words in the report that said that. We had multiple people fucking tried, convicted, and did fucking prison time. We also had multiple Russian agents that were removed, charged, and removed from this country. I don't know what his obsession is with 2016. Russia did fucking meddle in the election. We had a Senate investigative committee fucking report on this. They concluded Russia attempted to fucking interfere in the election. They always do. His own guy, Marco Rubio, currently in his administration, was one of the leads on a Senate Intel committee on this. I don't know why this is a thing. It's because MAGAs actually don't read or know what the fuck they're talking about. They still don't think Russia did anything. Even though Trump's own fucking people in his administration said they did. Even though people went to prison, some people we even know in their association with this investigation. Of course, they spoke on the condition of being nameless because the claim has not been made public yet. The second complaint was filed in the summer of 2024. It accuses the FBI of violating Quad D's privacy by searching Mar-a-Lago in his club in residence in Florida in 2022 for classified documents. Dude, they had to search Mar-a-Lago because they asked you to kindly return the fucking documents, which were not declassified, and you refused to fucking adhere to their instructions. If you were to return the fucking classified documents, no one would have had to fucking raid Mar-a-Lago to retrieve them. Thank you so much for the shiny air balloon, Lozano. No one violated your fucking rights. You didn't listen to a subpoena. You could have returned the fucking classified documents. You refused to do so. Instead, you were on tape bragging and showing them to people that didn't have access to speak or see them, speak about them or see them. This is corruption, folks. It also accuses the Justice Department of malicious prosecution in charging him with mishandling sensitive records after he left office, which he did. Thank you so much, Luck of me. I appreciate that for the handheld hearts. Rose, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate that. Is this not insane? Violet, thank you so much for the level up. Sparks, y'all are doing amazing. Is this not the craziest shit you fucking heard of? Lawyers said the nature of these claims posed undeniable ethics challenges. There is no ethics within this administration. They legitimately try to fucking eliminate ethical standards, guidelines, boards, review boards, commissions. They have allowed people in the administration to sign ethics waivers. How is that a fucking thing? Saying you don't have to fucking act ethically. How the fuck is that a thing? Luck of me, thank you so much for the money, pew pew. Yeah, that happened. When someone in his administration was fucking doing business with the Middle East for crypto deals. That fucking happened. Yeah, this is crazy. Alice, thank you so much. What a travesty, said Bennett L. Gershman, an ethics professor at Pace University. The ethical conflict is just so basic and fundamental, you don't even need a law professor to explain it. He added, and then they have people in the Justice Department decide whether his claim should be successful or not, and these are the very people who serve him deciding whether he wins or loses. It's bizarre and almost too outlandish to believe. Corruption, fraudulent. That's what the current administration is. I don't ever want to hear a MAGA talk about fucking corruption, fraud, waste, and abuse again. This is a primary example. Not that we need any more fucking examples. We see it daily. Even the president seemed to acknowledge at the point in the Oval Office last week when he alluded vaguely to the situation while standing next to FBI Director Kash Patel, attorney Pam such and such, and her deputy Todd Blanche, former personal attorney. According to Justice Department regulations, the Deputy Attorney General, in this case, Todd Blanche, again, former personal attorney, is one of the two people eligible to sign off on a settlement. By the way, if you don't know who Todd Blanche is, he's also the guy that snuck in the middle of the night to go do a 2-day fucking 9-hour interview with Ghislaine Maxwell and then have her fucking moved through the Bureau of Prisons to the most relaxed fucking prison camp in the federal prison system. That's Todd Blanche. He will be fucking one of two people that can allow Trump to receive this $230 million settlement from the federal government. I don't ever want to hear a MAGA talk about corruption again. This is fucking corruption at its finest, right in front of your fucking face. Let's get up to...
I voted for Trump, Dr. Fauci. The jab juice. I fucking hate corruption. I hate Raising Cane's.
This is corruption. Thank you so much for the follow, Nicole. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well, and when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know how you do settle the lawsuit. I'll say, give me X dollars, and I don't know what to do with the lawsuit, Trump said, adding, it sort of looks bad. He's even saying the shit out loud. Quad D goes, it sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know. But that was a lawsuit that was very strong, very powerful. No, it wasn't. You did all those things that you're complaining you were investigated for. You stole classified documents. You didn't answer a subpoena to return them. You did these things that you were investigated for. You did these things that forced the FBI to raid Mar-a-Lago. We have you on tape fucking talking about classified documents with parties that had no authorization to talk about them. Administrative claims are not technically lawsuits. Such complaints are submitted first to the Justice Department on what is called a Standard Form 95. This determines if a settlement can be reached without a lawsuit in federal court. If the department formally rejects such a claim or declines to act on it, a person could then still sue in court. Okay, you are not a victim. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We will be... Oh, you're talking about Trump? No, Trump is definitely not a victim. Yeah, he's definitely not a victim. Still, this is an unlikely outcome in this instance, given that Mr. Quad D is already negotiating, in essence, with his subordinates. Yeah. No, I don't think she's MAGA. I think she was talking about Quad D not being a victim. He is not a victim. If she's talking to me, yeah, we're all victims because we're paying. If he gets $230 million, guess who's fucking paying for it? Not him. Not the billionaires that were doing a dinner with him 2 weeks ago. Us. The tax dollars we feed into the fucking government. All of us will be paying this shit out. Yeah. She's not MAGA, by the way. Compensation, again, here I'll say it again. Compensation is typically covered by us, taxpayers. Yeah. We would be paying it, not Zuckerfuckerberg, not the South African Nick Cannon, us. Two people familiar with the president's legal claims say it had not been paid by the federal government, but that he expected to be. Yeah. Yeah. The second claim accused Merrick Garland, then the Attorney General Christopher Wray. Christopher Wray was actually the FBI director. Trump appointed him, by the way. And Jack Smith, special counsel, investigating Trump at the time, of harassment intended to sway the electoral outcome. This malicious prosecution led President Quad D to spend tens of millions of dollars defending the case and his reputation, the claim said. First of all, Quad D doesn't pay his attorneys, so he didn't pay anything. He doesn't pay fucking his civil judgments. He doesn't pay his attorneys. He did not spend millions of dollars defending the case. If he did pay anything to his attorneys, that was paid for by his dumb MAGA supporters who contributed to his GoFundMes and his piss fucking perfume and cologne and his gold shoes and his shit tarps and his merkins and his meme coins and his digital trading cards in which he's doing the double giraffe jerk dance. He doesn't pay for shit. We know this. Yeah, Bibles, whatever, his stale bootleg Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. Yeah. According to the Justice Department, manual settlements of claims against the department for more than $4 million must be approved by the Deputy Attorney General. Guess who the Deputy Attorney General is? Todd Blanche, his former personal attorney that went to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. Corruption to the highest degree, meaning the person who oversees the agency's civil division. The current Deputy Attorney General, I just said it, Todd Blanche, served as Quad D's lead criminal defense lawyer and said at his confirmation hearing in February that his attorney-client relationship with the president continued. The chief of the department's civil division, which can also sign off on these settlements, his name is Stanley Woodward Jr. He also represented Quad D's co-defendant, Walt Nuada, in a classified documents case. Mr. Woodward has also represented a number of other Quad D aides, including Kash Patel, in investigations related to Quad D or the J6 event, the riot on J6 2021. Yeah. A spokesman for the president's personal legal team said he was fighting back against the Russia investigation he has long denounced as a witch hunt and what he has called the weaponization of the criminal justice system by the Biden administration. Again, as he forces investigations with no merit against James Comey, against Letitia James, and against whoever the fuck else is coming in the future. But Biden weaponized the criminal justice system, right? This makes sense to you, MAGAs? A Quad D White House spokeswoman referred questions to the Justice Department, asked if either Mr. Blanche or Mr. Woodward would recuse themselves or have been recused from overseeing the possible settlement with Quad D. A Justice Department spokesman, Chad Gilmartin, said, in any circumstance, all officials at the Department of Justice follow the guidance of career ethics officials. No, you don't. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be in your jobs. So you do not follow any ethics guidance. In July, I'll point this out again, Pam such and such, we know her as Pam Bondi. Remember Pam Bondi when she couldn't answer a question 2 weeks ago? About Schmepstein and potential photos with underage girls without clothing on? That's Pam Bondi. She fired the agency's top ethics advisor. So there's no one to even fucking listen to now on ethics guidance. Yeah. Yes, he did, Steve J. Maybe we'll get into that. We'll get into that tomorrow, okay, Steve? Steve G? Yeah. So there is no ethics advisor now in the Justice Department. He was fired in July by Pam Bondi. Go figure. Yeah.
Root out corruption, waste, and fraud.
I don't know. This seems like a lot of corruption and fucking fraud, doesn't it? Yeah, there's no ethics advisor in the Department of Justice. They were fired in July. Isn't that crazy? The Justice Department does not specifically require a public announcement of settlements made for administrative claims before they become lawsuits. If or when the Quad D administration pays the president what could be hundreds of millions of dollars, there may be no immediate official declaration that it did so, according to current and former department officials. This motherfucker could collect $230 million tonight and we wouldn't even know about it.
We're the most transparent administration in the history of our country. Transparency.
Did you just hear that? The Justice Department does not have to specifically require a public announcement of settlements made for administrative claims before they become lawsuits. He could take this $230 million tonight, and if it never becomes a fucking lawsuit, we won't even know that he took it. Because do you think Pam Bondi is fucking telling us? I don't ever want to hear about Hunter Biden's laptop, about Hillary's emails. I don't want to hear shit about fuck ever again from a single fucking MAGA. Matter of fact, if you mention Hunter, you're getting blocked. If you mention a fucking barista or a laptop or an email, you're getting fucking blocked. I don't ever want to fucking hear it again. You don't stand for shit. Not for democracy, not for the Constitution, not for the First Amendment rights, not for due process, not for transparency, not for Christianity, not for women, not for immigrants, not for education, not for food, not for peace. You don't stand for shit. Nothing. There are no fucking conservative principles anymore. That's gone. Not for small government. I don't want to hear shit from you again about fuck anything. You don't have any fucking principles. Your principles are racism and misogyny and xenophobia and anti-fucking LGBTQ plus and trans. That's what your principles are. Hate. That's the only fucking thing you stand for. And corruption. I'll throw that in there too. You love corruption. You love it. It presents itself every fucking day and you don't say shit about it.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I got another MAGA hat. That's fucking okay.
You're not America first. You're not fucking for no new wars. You're about defending 3PDOs. You're about fucking corruption and hate.
Well, I'm going to go down and get me some more MAGA cereal, some bootleg Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's the only thing I can afford these days. I can't afford beef. I can't eat any protein.
Yeah, notice how we got 300 fucking people in here right now. Notice how we don't have one MAGA fuck. Look at that. Oh, we got one right here. 33. I'm telling you, the guy in office you have 0 followers. Big fucking surprise. No megaphone. This dude's about to take $230 million from the government right under your nose, and you're not even fucking paying attention. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. I'm legitimately fucking explaining it to him, and he doesn't even fucking get that it's corruption.
There's nothing wrong with him taking $230 million from the government and no one knowing about it. Who the fuck cares? That's not corruption. That's smart business. He's a businessman.
Taking your taxpayer dollars. Actually, you don't pay taxes, so I'm sure he's not taking your money. But actually, the people that have jobs taking their tax dollars.
But we're going to own the libs. I know I'm broke. I know I can't afford to eat, but own the libs.
Short dick man. Don't want no short dick man.
Theme song.
Don't want no short dick man.
Drop it. Drop it. Drop the beat, cat captain.
Dick man. Dick man.
MAGA theme song.
Dick man. Teeny weeny, shriveled little short dick man. Teeny weeny, shriveled little short dick man. Dick man.
Thank you, D.
Dick man.
We got it, Patty. Extra belly button. I love it. So that's all you got is
We're owning the libs.
that's when I know you're an unserious person or a bot. They don't even know they're being exploited. That's how dumb these people are. Seriously.
We love it. We love being robbed by our own president. We love it. Yes, America. I love brokenness. I love starvation. I love not having Wi-Fi or a smartphone. I love it. You know what? I needed to go on a diet anyway. I love starvation. I fucking love it. Who needs food? I hate food. Fucking hate food. I hate you.
Let's get this bot out of here. Thank you for the view, though. I appreciate that. 0 followers, 0 brain cells, 3 teeth. Crazy work, isn't it? Crazy, crazy fucking work. What's up, Nicole Harris? Great last name, by the way. Gliding through. Yeah, y'all don't stand for shit. And your entire comeback is,
We're owning the libs.
no, you're not. You're going broke. You're experiencing starvation. You're not owning the libs. The libs are doing much better than you are. Higher levels of education, higher jobs, increased quality of life, health care for the most part because they're more educated with jobs. You are hurting yourself by owning the libs. I don't understand what the fuck you think is happening that's going well for you. I would like you to explain it to me. If you're a MAGA in here, please explain to me what's going well right now. I'll wait.
No new wars.
Can't say that.
Free milk and eggs.
Can't say that.
Groceries.
Can't say that.
Gas.
Can't say that.
The Schmepstein files.
Can't say that. What the fuck is going well for you right now?
Housing.
Can't say that.
Unemployment.
Can't say that.
Inflation.
Can't say that. What the fuck is going well for you? Rent? Oh, cool. So you never want to fucking own a house? Cool. Your rent has gone down, but what about all the other costs, Ramon? So if your rent has gone down, but your groceries and everything else in your life, all of your other expenses have gone up, how are you fucking saving on rent, Ramon? Explain that one to me. If inflation is rising, your grocery prices are rising, your vehicle fucking prices are rising, the cost of goods are rising, rent is going up, by the way. Oh, Ramon is saying rent is going up. Gotcha. Yeah, rent is going up. I mean, it could be going down in certain markets. It is going down in certain markets. Do you know where rent is going down? Do you know where housing costs are going down? I'm going to give you 2 guesses. You know what states are hurting the most right now, having the most rapid economic declines? I'll put it up on the fucking screen, by the way. Florida and Texas. Big fucking shocker there. Florida and Texas. Yeah, it's going down in Florida because no one can fucking live there. Businesses are doing fucking horribly as price increases are rising on everything outside of housing. Florida and Texas are the two most rapidly declining economies in the fucking country. Do we have Democratic leadership there, or is that Republican leadership? Big fucking shocker there, right? Economies are being decimated in those fucking states. Yeah, crazy. So, I'm going to get into an interview right now. I'm just going to play this for educational purposes. This is with Mehdi Hasan and Chris Cuomo from about a year ago, before the election, okay? So, this was about exactly a fucking year ago. And Mehdi Hasan, now, if you don't know my position on Chris Cuomo, I've been off Chris Cuomo. Oh, let me change the goal, by the way. Y'all are doing awesome. If anybody wants to help, I just swiped out on accident. If anybody wants to help out with the party on and on, we need only 3 more things in the gallery. We got a beautiful Interstellar. We're going to go back. We're going to do a couple pumpkin patches because those are my favorite. It is pumpkin season. We're going to put up like 4 pumpkin patches. I love these. So Chris Cuomo, if you don't know, his brother's Andrew Cuomo. He's running right now for the key position that he held in New York before. He's going against Mamdani. He's fucking awful. But Chris Cuomo also used to be a political fucking analyst on CNN. He was fired for defending Andrew Cuomo in some, let's say, inappropriate schmexual, I don't know, was it schmexual harassment claims against him? So essentially, Cuomo defended his brother, lost his job at CNN. Also, I do not think that he was doing too well on CNN at that time anyway. I think his popularity was going down, viewership was going down on that network in general. He moved over to News Nation. Now, News Nation claims to be some fucking neutral center media fucking outlet. It hardly gets any fucking viewership. News Nation is not a center fucking neutral news outlet. They are right. They will fucking try to tell you that they're fucking neutral. They are not. For example, Chris Cuomo essentially turned into a Republican. When he was on CNN, he used to be buddies with Don Lemon. Don Lemon and him would often fucking criticize Quad D's first administration, and rightfully so. It was horrific. Okay? He moved to News Nation. All of a sudden, he fucking started sounding a lot like a Republican. A lot like a MAGA. Okay? And I watched Chris for a while on News Nation because I was trying to see what the fuck he was about. Then when he started fucking having people on his show like Bill O'Reilly 3 to 4 fucking times a week, I stopped listening to him. Don Lemon improved after leaving CNN. Chris Cuomo went downhill quickly. Now all he does is have fucking right-wing commentators, whether it's Bill O'Reilly 3 times a week, whether it's Stephen A. Smith, whether it's Kristi Noem before this fucking election cycle, who else? Steve Cuccinelli, who Mehdi Hasan destroyed a couple weeks ago on his show. Chris Cuomo is full-fledged Republican. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. There are some people in other lives that try to convince me that he's not a Republican. I don't give a fuck what you say. He sounds, looks, and talks like a Republican these days. So I'm giving you a little fucking background on Chris Cuomo, okay? If he's not a Republican, it sure sounds like he can be bought by a fucking Republican, all right? So he sounds like a fucking Republican. Yeah, for whatever the fucking reason. Oh, yeah, Andrew, too. Yeah, why do you think Andrew Cuomo is so fucking unpopular in New York right now? Because he sounds more and more like a fucking Republican, too. Right? That's why Mamdani is doing so well in New York, right? Because New Yorkers are sick of the same bullshit that they've had under Cuomo. He's not a Republican. He's on a Republican channel to get paid. Well, whatever. He sounds like one. Yeah, okay. So, they did an interview about a year ago on the possibilities of Quad D winning the election and what it would mean. Now, I got about 3 parts from this interview. It's fucking awesome. But listen to Mehdi Hasan. If you don't know who Mehdi Hasan is, he's an author. He was born in the UK, but he has dual citizenship. He is a commentator. He is a political broadcaster. He is a journalist, a writer. He's worked for The Intercept. He's worked for the Huffington Post. He's worked for Al Jazeera. He's worked for Peacock. He's had a show on MSNBC. They recently canceled him. I think it was last year. Maybe it was at the end of 2023. He's fucking well educated. He knows what the fuck he's talking about. He speaks the truth, which is probably why his shit got canceled on MSNBC, because he doesn't fucking hold back. He's amazing. Okay? My opinion on the president shitting on himself, he's got dementia and he acts like a 7-year-old. That's my fucking take on it. Yeah, it's not very presidential. So I'm going to play some of this interview. Now, you tell me who sounds more correct in their analysis of a second Quad D presidency. If it's Chris Cuomo or if it's Mehdi Hassan. Most of you probably already know the answer, okay? We've got 4 pumpkin patches up top, by the way. We're going to try to hit that goal. I moved it from the party on and on, but whatever you like in the gallery, it helps us fucking get pushed out on the algorithm. So let's try to knock these down. If you'd rather make a contribution, VMOC app, you know where to find that. In the link tree in the bio. I appreciate that. We're having a great show. We're having really, really great discussion. Just listen to this. This is crazy, though.
A book about really rhetoric, about how to understand argumentation, how to argue. Mehdi is a master and champion debater.
I agree with that.
And he's very good at it on TV. Here's my supposition for you. I believe that you have a chance of being...
Can everybody hear this okay? I want to make sure everybody can hear it. Is it not too loud? Is it okay? Can everybody hear this? I just want to make sure the sound check, everybody can hear it clearly. Yep, can hear it clearly. Thank you for the follows. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure it's loud enough. Cool.
Which is someone on the left that can gather a following in digital media. It's very easy for people on the right.
Sorry.
Yes. They're a much more cohesive group. You guys on the left are much more cats to their doggy mentality in terms of being a pack animal. I think you can do it. And I wish you well, inshallah. But is it...
This is for educational purposes only. I do not own the right to this content. I am playing audio only of this interview, okay?
Fair criticism that the problem with you people on the left is that you win a lot of arguments. You just don't win over people's hearts and minds.
This is an interview on the Chris Cuomo project about a year ago before the 2024 election, okay? This is Mehdi Hassan's prediction of what a second presidency could look like, and it's Chris Cuomo's fucking take on what a second presidency could look like under Quad D. One was very right, one was very wrong. It did not age well for Quad D. Let's just put it that way. I mean, for Chris Cuomo or Quad D.
You're very smart and very clever and adept. You just don't get where America is coming from, and that's why you have all you can handle in the form of one of the most flawed candidates in political history in Donald Trump.
I 100% agree with everything you just said. In fact, chapter 2 of my book is about that very premise. The idea that you have to be able to win people over with their heart and not just their minds. You have to be able to offer emotional arguments and not just logical, rational arguments. And it has killed me, Chris, for 20, 25 years, as long as I've been covering politics as a journalist in the UK and in the US. This is not a US phenomenon. This is a global left liberal issue, whether it's the Labour Party in the UK, whether it's the Democratic Party in the US. Wherever you are, you do have a set of kind of technocratic managerial politicians who rise to the top of these liberal parties and then think that they can, factually get their way to power. They can, you see liberal parties always, I'll give you one more Pew poll. I'll give you one more peer review.
Thank you, I don't give a fuck. If you are just joining us, I am playing an interview from about a year ago before the election on the Chris Cuomo project. I can't stand Chris Cuomo. This is Mehdi Hassan speaking. He's going to break down Quad D's first administration. He's going to make predictions about what the Quad D's second administration would look like. And he's pretty much fucking spot on. Chris Cuomo, I'm going to give you a little clue. He tried to downplay the threats to democracy that Quad D would pose. He also denied that MAGA was a cult. Mehdi Hassan destroys him in this interview. Absolutely fucking destroys him. And proves to be right pretty much about everything.
Everything.
Yeah. So listen up. I got about like 4 minute clips to listen to that are amazing. This is one of them. Tap that screen. If you're just coming in here while you're listening, tap that screen. We got pumpkin patches up top. If anybody wants to help with a pumpkin patch, I don't give a fuck. Just got us started. Thank you. I don't give a fuck. Win. I don't give a fuck in the chat. I don't give a fuck either. I don't give a fuck. Thank you so much. I don't give a fuck. 50 dubs in the chat for I don't give a fuck on that beautiful pumpkin patch. It's my favorite one right now. 3 more of those left on the go. Appreciate you. I don't give a fuck.
And that's just not how people operate. It's just not how human beings accept evidence, arguments, are persuaded. And I think what the right has so successfully done over the years, and Donald Trump is a master of this in his own dark and evil way, is play to people's base emotions. The right does it with the worst emotions, in my view: anger, fear, hate, concern about the other. And what I say to...
Doesn't that sound pretty accurate about the MAGA movement and what Quad D preys upon with the... we love the poorly educated, the uneducated YT man that wants to play victim? Doesn't that sound like hate, fear, anger?
Is you have to do the same thing, obviously not with dark emotions, but appeal to people's better angels, to, solidarity, hope, community, inspire people with collective action.
That's what he's saying Democrats should do. People on the left, and I agree with him completely. We don't do that enough. And again, I'm an independent that always votes Democrat because I'll never vote for a Democratic candidate because I'll never vote for a Republican one. But appeal to fucking hope, unity, togetherness. That's why I was so inspired by the No Kangs in New York City when I was there at Times Square. I don't think Democrats do this enough. Instead, it's Trump bad, MAGA bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. We know Trump is bad. You've got to fucking motivate and inspire people to come together like shit at the No Kings. We know Trump is bad. We already had one fucking administration with Trump. That can't be the same fucking message. We already know. Right? More unity, more togetherness, more fighting together, more building a community, more fighting against the fucking administration to protect our democracy and culture. This is the mistake I think the Democrats make. The right is much better adept at being able to fucking prey on people's fear and anger, and we don't fucking do the opposite on the Democratic side. That's what hurts us. Anux, thank you so much. That's why a lot of people say that I make them feel better and I try to bring positivity. I do. Because I think that's more valuable than just fucking sitting and fear-mongering all day. Fight. Speak out. Educate. Go fucking participate in a consumer boycott. Thank you, James. Get in those streets at the No Kangs. Mountain, thank you so much. Like so many of us did. Support candidates. Support the AOCs. Support the Jasmine Crockett's. If you're sick of the shit going on in New York, support Mamdani. Even if you think his policies might not be achievable yet, we need change. Mamdani is motivating people. They're tired of this shit. They're tired of the corruption. They're tired of these fake Democrats like the Cuomos. You've got to have some inspiring fucking candidates. Right? That's what you need to do. So he's going to continue. Tallarico, yes. Absolutely.
Like the idea of telling a story is such a basic thing. Think about 2016. Donald Trump says, build a wall, ban Muslims. We all still remember it. It's very, very simple.
Islam hates us, he said.
It's very, very evocative, provocative.
Hate.
I literally can tell you his 2016 platform right now, 8 years later. Can you tell me Hillary Clinton's? I'm sure she had a great childcare policy.
Well, this is the thing. I will say this, what Mehdi Hassan said you can tell you about his platform. Quad D didn't really have a platform. His platform was hate. He didn't actually have fucking policies. Banning Muslims is not really a fucking policy. I guess it is because he had about 7 fucking versions of the travel ban. Thank you so much, Cat Captain, for the heart me. Building the wall is not a real policy because he never fucking did it. His own party didn't even fucking fund it. His own party had an opportunity to fund it even during the fucking election through the National Security Act or the Border Security Act of 2024. And Trump told him not to fucking pass it. Right? So that's not really a platform. It was just hate. K-Riff, thank you for the follow.
I'm sure it had 16 different sections. Great. But that's just not how you win people over, by throwing policy papers at them or, hurling facts and figures. And that doesn't mean you give up on facts and figures. Let me just be very clear so people don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you go down the alternative facts route of Kellyanne Conway. I'm saying that in order to win people over, as you say, to see where Americans are, you have to be able to give them a factual proposal. You have to give them facts and figures, but you have to really, really connect with them.
That's what we do. Why do you think I always focus so much on facts and figures and then try to build connections with all 350 of you in here? I'm hoping to make a difference or inspire somebody to support a fucking candidate with the Democratic Party that can actually spark change. So you can fight against the nonsense when you hear it being fucking, when you hear propaganda, right-wing propaganda, you know it's propaganda and not fucking true. That's what I attempt to do. I want to fucking give people hope that we're going to fight against this nonsense. And we are. And again, this past weekend in the No Kangs gave me fucking more inspiration and hope. Hey, there are millions of us out here in this country that are not going to stand for our fucking democracy collapsing under Quad D, a fraudulent, corrupt, failed businessman. And I use that businessman word very loosely. No Kangs is right. Okay.
Emotive level.
So how is it that not only are or is the left not overwhelming the right, but is now defined by many on the right as
Thank you, Amy.
the darkness? You want to destroy, you want to replace the white man. You can't find white people in commercials anymore.
What? Like, this is shit that fucking MAGA say? You can't find YT people in commercials anymore? Are you fucking serious?
We saw a whole 3 black people on commercials today. Fuck you, man. Fuck F&A. All the YT people are out of commercials.
Yeah, I already talked about the $230 million thing, Trina, like pretty extensively. It's just corruption. If you need the source, make sure you subscribe to be a super fan too. I put my sources on the Discord, but I covered that like for about 25 minutes. Fucking crazy. It's just corruption. No worries, Trina. Like we did cover that like right before we got to this. Actually, it's disgusting. Yep.
And all of the other tropes and fears and phobias, that it's the left that is about the darkness. They want to destroy everything. Sexuality. Now our institutions, you guys prosecute all your political opponents. Look what you're doing to poor Trump. 90.
While Trump is doing that currently, again, Letitia James, Comey. Yeah, he's going to try to investigate Jack Smith next. Patty, thank you so much for the pumpkin patch. Win Patty in the chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Patty. 50 dubs in the chat for Patty. Drop that Patty sticker too. Thank you for getting us halfway to the goal. Win Patty. We need 2 more patches. Y'all are doing amazing.
Indictment counts, gazillions of dollars in fines.
Chris Cuomo.
Deep state. These are all left vehicles now. I grew up with them as right vehicles.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I think that the right has done 2 things very successfully. One is owning the libs is become the mantra. There is no real ideal. What is the modern conservative movement? Is it about low taxes? Is it about strong defense? Is it even about tough borders, as they claim? You know, if you think about Ronald...
Saying exactly what I say. Conservatives no longer have a platform. They don't have an ideology. It's legitimately what he just said. I had somebody come in here. I had 2 people, one today, one bot, and one yesterday. They said owning the libs. That's their entire thing. They don't care about policies. That's why I say they don't stand for anything. There's no values. There's no policies. There's no purpose. There's no goals. Owning the libs is their only interest. Doesn't matter if they can't.
I know I can't eat, but owning the libs...
They don't have anything that they stand. It's not Christianity. Saying owning the libs while the fucking administration hurts you worse than the libs. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. Captain, thank you so much for the magic roll. But Mehdi Hassan says what we say. This is a year ago, by the way. It's even more fucking true today. Because legitimately nothing is going well for these people, and they still sit up in the fucking lies and will come into comments
owning the libs
while they're broke as fuck with no job and no food and no health care and no car. Thank you, Cat Captain. Drop that Cat Captain sticker. It makes no fucking sense.
whoever it is, even George W. Bush, there is some kind of ideological platform that we understand. For me, one of the most telling moments in modern conservative history, Republican Party history, is the 2020 platform when the Republican Party, the RNC says, we have no platform. We just support Donald Trump. Is there ever more telling?
Pretty much.
When people say, oh, you can't call it a cult, it's literally a cult. The RNC said so in August 2020 when they said we've got no platform. So this idea that it doesn't...
They said that in 2020. We don't have a platform. It's supporting Trump. That's not a cult. Jesse, thank you so much for the Cooper. What is that, a Cooper's home? Cooper flies home? By the way, everybody in my top gifting boxes, Marissa, it looks like Lisa Montgomery, Patty, I don't give a fuck, Jesse. When you go in the gift box, you're going to see 3 little vault gifts. One is called a Storm Blade. Go click on it. Okay, click on it and click opt in, because everything that you throw, you're going to accumulate to unlock some vault gifts. Okay, so go right in the gift box where you press the little gift present at the bottom. Go right in there like you would gift. Find the Storm Blade. It's called Storm Blade. It's going to have a little, there's 3 of them. You can pick any of the vault gifts. There's 3 of them, but the easiest one that I remembered is Storm Blade. Click on it. Click opt in. Y'all will be able to if you keep doing what you're doing, you should be able to unlock at least the Storm Blade. Okay. So Mehdi Hassan is destroying this, by the way. Thank you, Jesse, so much. 25 dubs in the chat for Jesse on that beautiful Coopers. I appreciate that. Mehdi Hassan is crushing this right now.
Anything? There is no modern conservative movement, and therefore it only stands for owning the libs.
Hold on, Lizette, you in the box real quick? Hold on, let me see it. Lizette, did you mean to be there? Let's see what Lizette's talking about real quick. What up? I don't think she meant to request. Didn't mean to. Pocket request. Okay, anyway, let me continue. Thank you, Amazon.
The most insulting, the most immature way. And by the way, not just the libs. Do you remember when Mitch McConnell fell? He fell some steps? And you had people...
Well, that didn't age well. Mitch McConnell just fell again. They're talking about Mitch McConnell falling before, but he just fell again like a week ago. And yeah, I fucking laughed my ass off. Sorry. He's a horrible fucking person. Mehdi Hassan, he's better than I. He said he didn't laugh at that. Well, I fucking laughed at this second one.
What's her name? Jenna, what's the name of Trump's lawyer? Jenna, I'm having a mind block. Remember Jenna Ellis? Jenna Ellis and others just mocking him on so, I don't like Mitch McConnell, but I'm not going to mock an old man who falls down some stairs. This is what
I am, when he's trying to fucking hurt the American people by taking away their fucking health care. When he lies to the American people about the Supreme Court, which is hurting the American people again. Oh yeah, I'll fucking laugh. Sorry.
It's the most kind of pathetic, childish, immature, venal, vicious approach to politics, and that includes obviously the left, and we're seeing that with the rhetoric now. The left aren't just left; they're communists, they're Marxists, they're cultural Marxists. All this BS. Joe Biden's a communist. Don't make me laugh. So this kind of nonsense that we have, and then the other point is that it's a very, very calculated form of projection, Chris. What they're saying, they're often describing themselves. You know, I often use the hashtag on social media, every accusation is a confession.
Yep.
A lot of what they say is what they're doing. So when they're saying Hunter Biden is really, really corrupt, it's because they saw 4 years of Trump and his family.
Thank you. Thank you. Every fucking accusation is basically an admission of what the fucking Republicans are doing. Right? That's what's happening right now. Every fucking single time. It's crazy.
When they say now, for example, if you notice, Chris, that Donald Trump now talks about democracy a lot. Yeah. Because for 4 years, finally, the liberals got their act together, had a coherent argument that the Republican Party is an existential threat to American democracy, is engaged in voter suppression, tried to overturn an election, doesn't believe in our democratic institutions. And now their only response is say, well, Biden doesn't believe in democracy. And, you know, this is a president who spent 4 years threatening to lock up his opponent, demanding the DOJ go after his opponents. People have such short memories, Chris. Do you remember the image Trump posted once of all these political figures, including his own Deputy Attorney General Rosa, behind bars? Yes. Right? Random people were behind bars. Yes. That guy is now saying, oh, you're weaponizing the government to go after me. So it's all projection, and they are masters of projection.
Yep. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that so much. Am I better off today? What do you mean, am I better off today? The country is not better off today. No. No. We have higher unemployment. We're losing manufacturing jobs. We have legitimately no new trade deals with 3 of our biggest trading partners. No, I'm not better off today. Inflation is on the rise. Unemployment is on the rise. We're losing jobs. We have no respect worldwide. The wars, how's that ceasefire going? How's that ceasefire going at the Gaza Strip right now? How's that Ukraine-Russia war? Forgot to mention this today, by the way. Trump supposedly was supposed to meet Putin. That got called off this morning. No, we're not better off today. We legitimately have the National Guard being deployed and ICE attacking American cities and American citizens. You think this is better than we were under Biden? No, it's not. You legitimately have an AI video of the guy sitting in the White House taking a liquidy dump on American protesters. You think that's a sign of things being better in the United States today? You think that is professionalism? That's presidential behavior from somebody in the White House? You have farmers going broke just like they did during the fucking first Trump administration. Was that like a real question? You have housing costs skyrocketing. No, we're not better off today at all. By the way, Steve, drop a follow if you're not a MAGA too. If you are in here for the first time and you are not following, make sure that you drop a follow. Jesse, thank you so much for that pumpkin patch. It's one of my favorite fucking gifts in there right now. I appreciate it. It is my fucking favorite one right now. One more pumpkin patch. 50 dubs in the chat for Jesse, by the way. We only need one more pumpkin patch. Cool. Drop a follow, Steve. I didn't think you were a MAGA because you're still in here. Drop a follow, too. Cali Vet, what's going on? So, Mehdi Hassan is fucking describing this perfectly. It gets better, too. Okay, so listen to this next. This is good, too.
You get more hit, and
This is good.
So,
Thank you,
one of the
Steve.
sticks I've been beaten with recently is that I underestimate dangerously the dangerousness of Donald Trump.
This is really good because in this portion of the interview, Cuomo is trying to downplay the dangers of a second Quad D presidency, which we are now experiencing firsthand, which Mehdi Hassan essentially predicts. This shows how clueless Chris Cuomo is, or somebody with the Republican Party's been paying him handsomely.
Suggestion is pretty simple. I'm not going to argue that he doesn't say what he says. I'm going to argue that it doesn't mean what it would if you said it. Because this man is a lie machine, an a hyperbole machine, and you have to look at it that way. That the idea that he's a man of great vision and strategy who wants to become an autocrat and is going to put people around him who can help him overthrow America's democracy.
Well, he doesn't have a great strategy, but he wants to be an autocrat, an authoritarian, and he's putting people in place around him, his entire administration. How many fucking authors of Project 2025 are in his administration? I believe I said 16 that wrote Project 2025 with the Heritage Foundation. Chris Cuomo, this shows me, is not very bright when it comes to fucking forecasting what's coming.
Laughably absurd notion. And the more the left insists on it, the more it makes people
Like,
think,
listen to Cuomo, how clueless he is
this-
again. Listen to this. This is crazy. This is crazy.
So, one of the sticks
This is crazy.
I've been beaten with recently is that I underestimate dangerously the dangerousness of Donald Trump. My suggestion is pretty simple. I'm not going to argue that he doesn't say what he says.
What's up, Sam Watt?
I'm going to argue that it doesn't mean what it would if you said it. Because this man is a lie machine, an a hyperbole machine, and you have to look at it that way. That the idea that he's a man of great vision and strategy who wants to become an autocrat and is going to put people around him who can help him overthrow America's democracy, I think is a laughably absurd notion.
No, it's not.
And the more the left insists on it, the more it makes people think who are in the center, right, that small group, that you guys are exaggerating the problem because you don't have better ideas.
Do you see how clueless Chris Cuomo is? Do you see how fucking clueless he was? Chris Cuomo was the guy that was just talking. Mehdi Hassan is about to roast him. Dude, Quad D campaigned on retribution, on revenge. He legitimately fucking made flags and gear that said so. Revenge tour. He talked about how he wanted to go after Comey, how he wanted to go after Letitia James, how he wanted to go after Merrick Garland, how he wanted to go after all of these fucking people, Hunter Biden, Liz Cheney, all these enemies that he fucking named he was going to go after, and now he's doing it, and Chris is like, oh, well, he's a lie machine. Now when he says shit policy-wise that he's going to do, like I'm going to build a wall, I'm going to give you Trump care, those are lies. But when it comes to his insecurities and his feelings, he usually acts on those things because he's irrational, he's impulsive. Right? Thank you, Dottie.
I'll engage in the substance of what you said in a moment, but let me just question your premise that this is a left critique. I know, Chris, I get it where you're coming from. You have this kind of stick, like you're in the center, there's a right and there's a left, and you're above the fray. That, first of all, that's not true. But where does this left come from? Some of the most eloquent, passionate, and most informed critics of Donald Trump's fascism and assault on democracy are not leftists.
It's true.
Judge Michael Luttig is not a leftist. Liz Cheney, last time I checked, is not a leftist.
True.
George Conway is not a leftist.
True.
All of the former Trump administration officials who've said the man's crazy, he's an authoritarian.
General John
they're not
Kelly.
leftists, right? So they're not leftists. I don't accept the premise that this is a leftist critique.
Thank you, Captain.
In fact, there are people on the left who attack people like me and say you're being hyperbolic and agree with the premise of your statement. So
thank you,
it's not
Janelle.
a left thing. Let's just put that to one side. In terms of the substance, number one, let me snarkily say this.
Yeah, I don't like Joe Walsh either, though. I'm not a Joe Walsh guy at all. Buffalo, thank you so much.
Chris, did you think Donald Trump would incite an insurrection and refuse to leave office in 2019, in 2020?
No, but I also wouldn't characterize the behavior the way you did.
You don't think he incited an insurrection?
No.
Chris Cuomo also got called on this recently. He went on with Steve Cuccinelli. They were talking about Charlie Kirk. Chris Cuomo, the tweets are there. Mehdi Hasan actually dug them up. Chris Cuomo spent about 2 years calling J6 an insurrection. On fucking social media, his own words from his checkmarked account. And now he said he wouldn't call it an insurrection. He did for 2 years. 2021 and 2022, he called it an insurrection dozens of fucking times. I'm not exaggerating. I can actually pull them up. On Chris Cuomo's fucking official page. Insurrection was used to describe J6. In writing. He said it multiple fucking times. Chris Cuomo. That's who's doing this interview right now with Mehdi Hasan. Okay? So that's a lie, but I'll let it continue.
It's an insurrection. I think it was a riot.
Okay, I don't agree with that for a second, but let's park that for a moment. Did you in 2019 or 2020 say Donald Trump will refuse to leave office and incite a riot and an attack on the Capitol?
No.
I did. In 2019, I wrote a piece.
So basically, Mehdi Hasan is saying that he predicted something like J6 would happen. And Mehdi Hasan was right. Chris Cuomo never thought that would happen. It did. So he's saying, dude, you didn't even forecast that. I saw that coming from a mile away, that he really didn't want to leave office. That eventually he'd be forced to, but he was going to do anything he could to remain in office. And I cannot stand Mike Pence, but imagine if Mike Pence went along with that and didn't confirm the results of an election. Where would we be? I mean, think about that. And I can't stand Mike Pence. I'm just saying, what if that happened to be J.D. Chesterfield, which he actually fucking talks about too?
Donald Trump is very clear about the fact that he won't accept the election result and he won't leave, and people are ignoring this danger. And if this, you know what's going to happen? Violence and rioting. I wrote this in The Intercept in, I think, May of 2019, about 18 months before the election. People said to me, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a brick. You don't understand American politics. The Secret Service will walk him out. There's no danger here. This is all hyperbole. So my first point, Chris, is forgive me when I hear people say it's hyperbole. I was right then and they were wrong. So maybe we should have a little bit of humility from the folks who say, calm down. A lot of the calm down folks were completely wrong on January the 6th, 2021. That's my first point. And then in terms of the substance, I mean, he is saying this stuff. I agree with you, Chris. He's a liar. He's an exaggerator. I completely agree. He's not a strategist. I don't think you need to be a strategist to be an autocrat, right? I don't think you need that. I think you have autocratic tendencies and instincts, and then it's an issue
Thank
of
you,
whether
G-Man.
those around you and
They usually have a plan, Mehdi,
They
as we
do.
both
Well,
know.
he's got people around him. Have you read the Heritage Foundation 2025 report? It's a pretty clear plan for authoritarianism.
Bingo. Cuomo's like, well,
You would need to have a plan to execute an authoritarian regime.
bingo. We've got one. We talked about it before and after the election. It's called Project 2025, which he claimed he know nothing about. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks ago, the esteemed Russell vote, as soon as the government shutdown happened. Bingo. They put it in writing. We'll go over it again next week. Yeah, they've got a plan, Chris. Like, how can somebody that talks about politics for a living be so fucking clueless? Well, you need to have a plan. Yeah, they announced their plan. Tiff D, thank you so much for the magic roll. It's shocking that you don't realize what it is. It's currently happening during the government shutdown. It's currently happening in the courts as Trump is trying to fucking have an emergency appeal to the Supreme Court to allow him to deploy military fucking troops in Chicago. As ICE tries to fucking stop our freedom of speech fucking rights in the streets. You think he's just playing dumb, or he's paying to play dumb? He's getting paid to play dumb.
Well laid out over multiple pages. But just go back to Trump. Okay, when I say...
I'll rewind that
I
again.
said recently, I completely agree. He's not a strategist. I don't think you need to be a strategist to be an autocrat, right? I don't think you need that. I think you have autocratic tendencies and instincts, and then it's an issue of whether those around you and the
They usually have a plan, Mehdi, as we both
Well,
know.
he's got people around him. Have you read the Heritage Foundation 2025 report? It's a pretty clear plan for authoritarianism. Pretty well laid out over multiple pages. But just go back to Trump. Okay.
Thank you,
when
Tanya.
A friend of mine said recently, a friend of mine who doesn't want to vote for Biden because of Gaza. So I can't vote for Biden. I said, well, what happens when Trump's president?
This is last year before fucking Biden dropped out. Okay, so he's saying he can't vote for Biden because of Gaza. When now Trump is legitimately doing the same shit as Biden at Gaza, or worse. As you see, the ceasefire deal is not being agreed upon because he just wants to clear fucking Palestinians out so he can have some fucking hotel resorts over on a fucking piece of land that he doesn't own or have any access to legally. But Quad D is worse than fucking... Now, I'm not defending Biden on Gaza. I've told you that. Anybody that is cooperating with Bibi or bending the knee to Israel, I'm not supporting that policy. Cat Captain, thank you so much for the starlight. But saying you wouldn't vote for Biden because of Gaza, but then what? If you don't vote, you're helping fucking Quad D. If you vote for Quad D, you're helping Quad D. So why the fuck wouldn't you have voted for Biden again if he ran? That doesn't even make any fucking sense. One more pumpkin patch up top. By the way, we got 3 down, 1 to go. Y'all are doing amazing in here. Keep tapping that screen. If you have not got your heart me in yet, get your heart me into the top left. We need one more pumpkin patch. Appreciate you. Oh, let me give Charmin love, too. She kicked us off on the donations, too. Thank you so much, Charmin. Win Charmin in the chat on a $10 Vimo for daily political news. Thank you so much, Charmin. Everybody, give 25 dubs in the chat for Charmin in here for kicking us off on the donations. I appreciate you so much, Charmin. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Mehdi Hassan just destroys us. He's amazing.
Well, we'll protest Trump just like we protested him the first time.
But how do you vote for Trump if you don't like Biden's position on Gaza?
No, they didn't say...
Tej, thank you so much on the pumpkin pat. Win Tej in the chat. Thank you, Tej. Win Tej, win Tiff D, win Patty, win I don't give a fuck. Y'all are awesome. Win Jesse. Y'all are unbelievable. 50 dubs in the chat for Tej. We're going to go back to the pumpkin carriage because I love pumpkins. It's pumpkin season. It's almost Halloween. I'm hoping some cankles burst. We got 5 pumpkin carriages up top. Y'all are doing amazing in here. So he explains this.
They don't care if Trump wins. They're so mad at Biden.
I got you.
They don't care if Trump wins. And I said, well, what are you going to do once Trump's president?
Thank you,
Muslim,
Cat.
You're going to suffer. We'll protest. We protested the first time.
Thank you, Cat
I
Captain.
said, what happens when he puts the military
Drop that Cat Captain sticker in the chat. Thank you so much, Cat Captain.
on the streets and they open fire?
Listen to this. Listen to Mehdi Hassan predicts this. Again, this is over a year ago. Now listen to what Mehdi Hassan says is going to happen with protesters in the streets during a potential second Trump administration. Tell me if he's not spot on.
Well, over
I
Biden, they
got you,
don't care if Trump wins. They're
I got
so
you,
mad at Biden.
I got you.
They don't care if Trump wins. And I
get
said,
it.
well, what are you going to do once Trump's president? You're Muslim, you're going to suffer. We'll protest. We protested the first time. I said, what happens when he puts the military on the streets and they open...
Did Mehdi Hassan not fucking predict this? Did he not predict that? Exactly. This was over a year ago, folks.
He's got people around him. Have you read the Heritage Foundation
There it is
2020? He opened fire on protesters. Oh, Mehdi, you're being exaggerating. That's too far. Mark Esper, Chris, a man you know better than I do,
Yeah.
just went on MSNBC last week and said, he told me to shoot protesters. I said, we can't do it. Mark Esper won't be there next time. Next time it'll be Kash Patel or General Michael Flynn who'll say,
This guy predicted everything. What happens when the military's in the streets firing at protesters? And again, we've got tear gas and pepper spray right now. Then he said next time it won't be Mark Esper, it'll be Kash Patel or Pam Bondi or Todd or Pete Kegsbreath. Now, he didn't name all those other people. He nailed it. This is over a year ago, folks. This is what he said a second Trump presidency could look like.
whatever you want. So when you tell me like it's hyperbole, exaggeration, it's not. He's already said it. He already gave the order to shoot people. We just got lucky first time around that there were a few.
Well, all the protesters were not all paid in Antifa, Dottie, because a lot of us are in this community, including myself, in New York Times Square. I wish George Soros fucking paid me to be out there. He didn't. And I was out there. So they can say whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. And if you're anti-fascist, so be it. But if Papa George was paying, I sure didn't get my check. I didn't get PayPal or Vimo or CAP from Papa George. So we need to have a talk if that happened. I was out there. I didn't get paid by anybody.
Spined conservatives in his administration who said, no, they won't be there next time, Chris. It'll be Michael Davis. It'll be Michael Flynn. It'll be Kash Patel. It'll be Sebastian Gorka, who will love it.
So you really believe if Donald Trump wins again, there's all kinds of mayhem, and he is doing everything he can, not just to settle scores, but to turn himself as closely as he can into Putin?
Yes. How could you not fucking see this from his first administration? How could you not see this during his campaign? He was telling us. Revenge tour. Retribution. I will be your retribution. What the fuck do you mean? I like the sound of being a king. Just vote this one time. You won't have to vote again. How many fucking times did he have to tell you what he was trying to do? Now, will he succeed is another thing, but he's certainly creating the chaos.
Why would I not believe that? Every
Yeah,
bit of
again, listen to what Cuomo says.
Michael Davis. It'll be Michael Flynn. It'll be Kash Patel. It'll be Sebastian Gorka, who will love it.
So you really believe if Donald Trump wins again, there's all kinds of mayhem?
Yes.
And he is doing everything he can, not just to settle.
No, this is from a year ago, C. Jackal. This is from a year ago. This is not current. I'm telling you how Mehdi Hassan fucking predicted all of this.
Scores, but to turn himself as closely as he can into Putin.
Yes. Why would I not believe that? Every bit of evidence we have, public and private, suggests that is his plan.
Because the
and that is the
institutions
plan
are
of
too
people around him.
strong, and the rest of
Say again?
He said the institutions are too strong. Now, in some ways, I do agree, because I think the judicial system is restraining him right now, and civil society is restraining him. But Congress certainly isn't fucking stopping him. The Supreme Court is not stopping him on the emergency orders. Now the Supreme Court has ruled against him in a lot of cases, but in terms of the emergency orders, he's having great success right now with the emergency orders with the Supreme Court. Now the lower district courts, some of the appeals courts are helping us. But the institutions have not, Congress is definitely not held up. They're doing whatever the fuck he wants. The DOJ is not doing their job. They won't even release the fucking Schmepstein files. I just read an article for 25 minutes telling you how they're about to give him $230 million, and they won't even fucking tell us. Because it's his own personal attorneys that are handling the money and the decision and the claims.
And because the
institutions
the
are a
branches
joke in
of
this
government
country.
are too strong.
Which institutions? Is this the Supreme Court that's now running down the clock on his behalf so that he never faces a single federal trial before the next election, which in any other country would be laughed at? Chris, let me just bring you the immigrant perspective here. The rest of the world thinks we are a joke when it comes to our institutions. In Brazil, Bolsonaro didn't incite an insurrection. He simply questioned the results. The Brazilian judges banned him from running for president again until 2030. We have judges in this country who, by the way, are appointed by the president. Absurd system. No other country does it this way. They have independent judges, not party-nominated judges. Our judges, 3 of whom were appointed by Trump, are now running down the clock on his behalf. This ludicrous decision to hear his immunity case at their own slow pace.
Now, he didn't win the immunity. Well, he won the immunity case, but he didn't win having his criminal charges lifted. The Supreme Court actually ruled against him. But they are giving him a lot of wins in terms of the emergency orders. Mehdi Hassan is right on the fucking money. I don't know, like, who got into Chris Cuomo or what type of money he received, but his takes are fucking ridiculous.
I believe the institutional front. I believe we dodged it in January of 2021 by the skin of our teeth, by people like Raffensperger happening to be in the right place at the right time, by the Supreme Court in that moment realizing that none of the 60 cases, including the Pennsylvania case, were worth hearing. Next time around, it's a different ballgame. You've seen the Republican Party, what they've been up to in recent years. They've purged any of those folks from 2020. Raffensperger, thankfully, did just get reelected in Georgia. They weren't able to get rid of him. But in other places in Michigan, they've carried out purges. And this time round, yeah, they're much better to take on our institutions. Which institution? The House? Chris, the Republican Party in Congress is a Trump party, you know.
Yeah. This is what I keep saying. There's no Republican Party. There's no conservatives. Dolphin, the $230 million. We're talking about Trump is filing administrative claims with the DOJ against like the FBI and Jack Smith, these investigations. And his own personal attorneys, Todd Blanche, and there's another one, Woodward, who represented some of his esteemed friends and colleagues, are the ones who are going to determine if they are going to award or settle his claim for $230 million. And because there are no rules or regulations or guidelines in terms of reporting if they are actually going to award him with that $230 million, we won't even know. So they can legitimately say, yes, we're going to fulfill your claim. You are allowed to get $230 million from the federal government, which we pay for. It's taxpayer money. And they won't even have to tell us. This shit could happen tonight. And he could get $230 million and we wouldn't even know about it because the Department of Justice doesn't even need to legally tell us. That's corruption at the highest fucking degree. Yeah, mama, I just went over it. That's what I said, Kuka. It could be. It actually could be. Yeah. Crazy, right? That's the situation we're in. But
No wars.
right?
It has been to date. There are different ways to look at it. It's certainly as a matter of degree. How so? Well, when you listen to General Kelly, now do I wish he had been saying these things while he was chief of staff? Absolutely. But even with a pretty weak, Esper, I would put at the stronger scale of this, although he made the decision to work for Trump. He had that good explanation of, I knew this guy was going to have to need good people around him. Because, all right, I'll give it to him. But that could break either way. You know, out of conscience, you could also say, no, I won't work with this guy, and let me tell you why. But
I'm sure,
with a pretty weak lineup around him, there was a lot of pushback. And the theory from even John Kelly is the stronger people are around him. If you had regular people who were around other White Houses that he had interfaced with, they would have been a much bigger check. So even with these weak people were telling him no all the time, and he listened to them because as long as it's good for him somehow at the end of the day, he goes along with it. He doesn't.
So Chris Cuomo is like, well, he's going to have people around him to keep him in check like he did the first time. Nope. That's why he put those people in the position. That's why I told you there's not going to be any fucking good candidates that he puts in his administration because he doesn't want any pushback. That's why he attacked a lot of those fucking people in his first administration that did push back, the Espers, the Kellys, whoever the fuck it was. Pop Pop doesn't listen to anyone? No. CV Jax, make sure you drop a follow too. CV and Jax if you can. I'm with you, Jennifer. But who's going to hold them accountable?
Most people who want you to shoot at protesters have in their heads about why. And that for him, it's really that he wants to win. He wants to stall these lawsuits. And
Agreed.
it's basically the end of it.
No. He wants to be a fucking authoritarian. He praised all of them. How could people be so clueless? The debate praising Orban. The debate praising Kim Jong-un. The entire campaign praising President Xi. Praising Putin. Praising the Saudi crown prince. Do you ever hear him praise democratic leaders in the global system? Inviting Putin to the United States and rolling out a fucking red carpet for Putin. No, it wasn't just about keeping the lawsuits off his name or staying out of prison. That's part of it. It's about wealth and power. That's why he said, I like the sound of king. He said, I told President Xi, he's not a president, he's a king. I like that. I want to be a king. How many times does he have to fucking tell you?
We agree is that the one saving grace we have with Trump as the autocrat in waiting is that he doesn't have an underlying ideology of any kind.
Nope.
He's not Orban, Putin, Erdogan, MBS, Modi in that shape.
He wants
or
to be
form,
liked.
right? He wants to. I mean, he wants to save his ass right now, right? In terms of the legal
And be
situation.
liked. He wants to be
Well,
liked.
He doesn't care about being liked. He cares about being liked by certain people. When you put out an AI video of you taking a dump on millions of protesters, he doesn't care if those people like him. Just if he can get liked by people he can control. Yeah. Yeah, Kevin, go get him, man. Yeah, I know you might want to get some food too if you can. I don't think you can afford it, but I see you can't afford a profile picture or a smartphone, I see. Yeah.
If you were to go on TV tonight and say,
he's not running a campaign that implies he wants to be liked at all.
Nope.
He's running a base campaign. He wants to be liked by his base. He's given up on any kind of. In 2016, he was reaching out to independents, trying to pretend
Not
to be
now.
anti-establishment candidate workers. Not now.
But
he's not even trying.
But Mehdi, he has a pathology involved in his behavior.
Yes.
I can use that word with you that
Yes.
most politicians don't.
Do I think we will ever get out of this? Yes, I do, Arlene. I think we're pretty close to a breaking point in the administration. We're only about 9 months in. This isn't sustainable. We just had over 7 million fucking people marching in the streets in the United States, which was bigger than the first one. We have a decimated economy. We're losing jobs. Inflation is going up. Unemployment is going up. Housing costs are going up. We have no fucking trade deals. We have ICE operations that are impacting citizens and American-born children. We have him offering to give $40 billion to Argentina. None of this shit is sustainable. You've got decorated military officers, generals, soldiers resigning. It's not sustainable. Secondly, his health is shitty. He's declining by the fucking hour mentally more and more each fucking day. Physically, he's declining. I'm not sure he'll make it till 2026. That's our fucking saving grace. And we do have appeals courts, we do have district courts and district judges that are keeping him in check. Our saving grace is if he could do all of these things like cancel elections, if he could pew-pew protesters in the masses, don't you think he'd already be doing it? Would have already done these things if he could do them. If he could cancel certain sections of the Constitution as it pertains to freedom of speech and elections, like the election thing he's actually suggested, if he could do these things, don't you think he would have already done them? That's our saving grace. Doesn't seem to have a great relationship with the South African Nick Cannon right now either, which, again, I told you my fucking concerns about his involvement in the November election. So my saving grace is I still do think we have a strong civil society in the United States. That's our saving grace. We have judges, even certain Trump judges have ruled against him, that are saving us. Now, the Supreme Court is another issue. Let's see how they rule on this fucking deployment of the National Guard in Chicago. And what I'm going to say even about the National Guard to me is not the issue. It's ICE. The National Guard and the military just looks bad as a country. But ICE is more of my concern than the National Guard. The National Guard, from what I've seen, never look like they want to actually be in the streets doing what they're doing. You think they want to be fucking walking around public parks and picking up trash and laying down mulch? No. They don't even look like they want to be there. There was a photo op. They were getting served cold pizza in Washington, D.C. None of them looked like they wanted to be there. ICE is the fucking problem. Stephen Miller's the problem. Kristi Noem, although she's not very smart, she's not bright. Kristi Noem is a yes person. She's a yes woman. So she'll do whatever the fuck Quad D or Stephen Miller tells her to do. That's the concern. You hear of the trend of telling citizens to get... No, but that's a great fucking piece of advice. Yeah, I talked about that earlier, Gigi. Yeah, I know. Yeah. What's her fucking name? What's her name now? I forget her name. Jigsaw? The fuck is her name? Laura Loomer, a.k.a. Jigsaw. Yeah, she's running things from behind the scene, too. 4 more pumpkin carriages, everybody. Y'all are doing amazing. That's the goal up top. It's not a huge one. Let's continue to knock them down. Let's get in this top 20% A2 category. We're doing amazing. So there's only a couple more minutes I'm going to play with you. But he fucking nailed everything. He even talks about J.D. Chesterfield. Wait till you hear this.
He is an actual amoral agent. As somebody who has studied
I agree with that.
for 35 years
He's
of my
also
life.
a malignant narcissist, and you mentioned pathology, Chris. Here's another, sorry to do another kind of I told you so moment. Back in 2018-19, Dr. Bandy Lee of Yale put out a book called The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump. A bunch of psychiatrists analyzed it from different angles. I pushed that book heavily. I had her on my podcast at The Intercept. I went and spoke at a conference she organized. People said to me, this is crazy. This is a left gone over the cliff, like trying to psychoanalyze the president. This violates...
Maybe, yeah, thank you.
All sorts of medical rules.
Thank you, Mel.
Guess what? John Kelly, who you just mentioned, he bought the book. The guy in the White House who was chief of staff was using the book as a guide to his boss.
I do think it's weird for clinicians to want to analyze somebody that they haven't met.
It is weird, but it's a unique, we live in a case of...
I'm with you, Lisa. Plus, Lisa, the thing about the National Guard military members, I keep saying that, at best, Trump would have 50-50 support in the military. Based on their reaction, a lot of resignations after the Pete Kegsbreath and Quad D speech a few weeks ago, based on their reactions to being deployed in cities like National Guard members, I would highly doubt that he even has 50% of the military support right now. You think military members want to turn on their own communities and families and neighbors in their cities? I doubt it. You think all the military voted for Quad D? I don't think so. Like regular tastes good. Yeah. Was that a real story? I didn't see that, CV. That's funny, though.
Back to your point on the yes man and the no man.
Yes.
I'm not denying that there were people who said no around it. They didn't say no enough, like you just pointed out. They didn't resign and say their piece at the time. And by the way, even with those adults in the room, he still almost started a nuclear war with North Korea. He still almost started a war with Iran.
Karen, do you have a source on that? The article today, she said generals say Pete has lost them. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Let me know if you've got a source. I will search on that, because I would love to read an article on that. What's up, Auntie? Thank you so much, Auntie.
He still praised neo-Nazis in Charlottesville. He still allowed 500,000 Americans to die who probably many of them didn't need to die from COVID. So even with that, he was a disastrous, perhaps the most disastrous president of our in modern American history. I'm saying next time round, Chris, there aren't going to be those people. He is coming back with vengeance. 4 years is a long time. He's not the same Trump as term one. He is going to come back much angrier, much more organized, and surrounded by way more yes men and open.
He fucking predicted this exactly. He's going to be more. He's going to be more angry. He's going to be angrier. He's going to surround himself with more yes men. Thank you so much, honey. Win Coach Shauna on the Milos with a little straw. Win Coach in the chat. Heather, and probably did that illegally, but we know that he does things first and asks questions later. So Mehdi Hassan, I just think that this interview is amazing because he predicted like all of this. Like he's right.
Americans to die, who probably many of them did
Right
not
about
die
all of
from
it.
COVID. So even with that, he was a disastrous, perhaps the most disastrous president of our in modern American history. I'm saying next time around, Chris, there aren't going to be those people. He is coming back with vengeance. 4 years is a long time. He's not the same Trump as term one. He is going to come back much angrier, much more organized.
Thank you, I don't give a
and
fuck.
Surrounded by way more yes men and open fascists.
Win, I don't give a fuck on the pumpkin carriage. Thank you so much. I don't give a fuck. Thank you so much. Win in the chat, 25 does for I don't give a fuck. We're doing amazing. I've only got about like 7 more minutes I'm going to play. And then we can continue to talk and wrap up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I don't give a fuck. 3 more pumpkin carriages up top. If anybody wants to help.
Cannons of this world than he did last time round. I'll give you an example, Chris. Just one example. Mike Davis, who Don Jr. is touting as future AG or future senior figure in the administration, conservative lawyer, used to be a Bush guy, gone full MAGA. This guy is on Twitter saying, I'm going to deport Mehdi Hassan to Guantanamo Bay, right? Now, he doesn't have the power to do that even as Attorney General. But those are the kind of people that he and his people want to bring into their...
Now you've got the Quad D administration saying they're going to deport people like Harry Sisson. Tej, thank you so much for the pumpkin carriage. 25 does in the chat for Tej. Thank you so much. Like Harry Sisson. Harry Sisson is like a 23-year-old political commentator that I think like recently graduated college or was about to. I love Harry Sisson. He's on this app. Like that's what you have happening. That's what you have happening right now.
It is not Jeff Sessions. As bad as Jeff Sessions was, he was still a conventional conservative.
I understand the concern. I don't believe it. And now you could say, well, you're being delusional.
He doesn't believe these concerns. They're playing out now, right in front. Arlene, thank you so much, Arlene. Yeah, Harry Sisson, that's happening too. Tell Shauna you saw her. Thank you. Thank you, Arlene. I appreciate you, Arlene, so much on the carriage. Win Arlene in the chat. Thank you so much, Arlene. Win Arlene, 25 dubs. Tej, thank you so much. One more. Like, how do you not believe it, dude? All the signs were there. This is what I said. What the fuck happened to critical thinking with Chris Cuomo? I don't know, right? It doesn't make any sense. Where are they going to deport Bad Bunny to? Also has his American citizenship. I mean, these are the threats that are being made because he said he was going to sing at the Super Bowl in Spanish and doesn't appear to like Trump. It's all hate and fear-mongering. Essentially, anybody that disagrees with the administration or that YT MAGAs perceive as a threat. Seems Chris flipped for a check for sure, Sharman.
I just think that
this didn't age well for fucking Chris Cuomo at all.
I'm being swayed by my very long time knowledge of him.
Well, you were
What do you
wrong.
think's going to happen, Chris? I've laid out my vision. What do you think's going to happen from 24?
Well, first of all, I'm not
25
sure.
onwards, he's president.
I'm not sure that he wins.
No, but let's assume.
Well, I was the same way, Chris, and I'm still not sure that he won. Let's put it that way. Supposedly, he won in November. That's how I always fucking say it. Supposedly, Quad D won in November.
So if he wins...
Thank you, Kristen.
One, does the left create any dynamic like the one we had after the last election? I don't know. Not that
Right,
it would
Arlene?
be baseless, but is Donald Trump, are the people around him capable of rigging 100%?
Chris Cuomo just said that out loud. Did you hear that? Did y'all catch that? Did you just hear that? Did you hear what he said? Yep.
So what if we get real proof that he rigged the election and that's why he won?
Crazy that he would put that out there. I'll play it again.
No, but let's assume he wins.
All right, so
Listen.
if he wins, one, does the left create any dynamic
Listen.
like the one we had after the last election? I don't know. Not that it would be baseless, but is Donald Trump, are the people around him capable of rigging 100%? They're capable of it. So what if we get real proof that he rigged the election and that's why he won?
You just catch that? Bingo. And I don't, like I said, Chris Cuomo's pretty clueless. It might be the only thing he might have gotten right in the entire fucking interview. Devin, thank you so much again. This is a year ago, before the fucking 2024 election. Pretty fucking crazy that he would put that out there, isn't it?
I think he's much more likely to rig an election than it is likely that it would be rigged against him.
Chris fucked up and was saying the quiet parts out loud while being a Republican. Because he's a fucking Republican now. Pretty fucking crazy.
I got to see what happens with that. Then, if he wins, I believe that that is so much of what the satisfaction was for him that he may coast from silly media fight to media fight, and he will do a lot of saber rattling against us. I think that will be his main focus, because the Democrats will all fall in line like every out party does.
Unfortunately. What do you think? So 2 questions. What do you think happens to all these freaks around him? The heritage folks, the ideologues, the Bannon. Do you think they just?
He has.
You don't think they have? Well, you don't think they have real clear plans on the social liberal culture wars front?
He is not a heritage. Front? He's not a Heritage Foundation guy.
They're the ones who are going to be. They're the ones pushing.
They are pushing
whatever kind of agenda
things.
You want to call.
They were very effective with the
civil
judges.
Servants.
Yes. Deep state stuff, as they call it, which I don't believe in, by the way. Bureaucracies definitely have their entrenched issues, but I don't believe in what is called deep state. I believe it's a false negative.
But it's projection, right, Chris? They want it to be a deep state that they can then weaponize. The stuff they say about Biden runs the FBI, Biden has nothing to do with the FBI. That's what Trump wants. We know that. You and I both know he would love to have an FBI
Right. I think that's a little bit too clever for that.
Kash Patel. Who's the FBI director right now? Who did he put in? He wants to run the FBI. He wants to run the DOJ. The deep state. He's the fucking deep state.
You don't think Donald Trump wants to have an IRS
No.
chief, an
I
FBI
think
chief
that
who go after his enemies?
I think that he absolutely likes the idea of power.
Who is he putting in as a special prosecutor in fucking Virginia to bring a case against James Comey and Letitia James with no real fucking evidence? A former Miss USA fucking beauty pageant contestant. I do, Mr. Gucci. I know I can't say too much about it, Mr. Gucci. I have said it. I do know that Starlink was responsible in some areas of the country. I do know. I went over it. I got to be careful what I say about that, because you know how this app is. As soon as I start bringing shit up, I start getting restrictions. So, but I do know.
Abuse it. I think we have every bit
So
of
that's my
evidence.
question to you, Chris. Where are the abuses of power that you are worried about? You're saying you think I'm behind, but what you must be concerned about some abuses of power under Trump. What are they?
I guess that I have been reserving judgment because I don't think he's going to win. He could win.
Okay.
He could win. And the polling now has been bad
It's 50-50.
longer than I expected.
See that? Even Chris Cuomo, who is sounding very fucking Republican, he didn't think Quad D would win either. And he's like totally Republican. During this time, he was having town halls with, later actually, when J.D. Chesterfield emerged as the VP candidate, which Mehdi Hasan talks about too. He was hosting fucking town halls with J.D. Chesterfield. He had Trump on fucking phone. Didn't do this with Kamala. Didn't do this with Tim Walz. So again, this coming from Chris Cuomo, who's sounding very conservative these days.
Okay.
Agreed.
But I did not expect a non-campaign from the sitting president either. And I did not expect him to not take any action on the border when it clearly has become the dominant domestic issue.
Now, Biden did take action on the border, so that's bullshit too. That was one of the first things he did when he got in office. Congress didn't want to act on it. Biden also tried to push, he signed some executive orders, but he also tried to push Congress to fucking get to it right away with legislation. They didn't. They curbed it. Then Biden pushed for the Border Security Act during this campaign in which Cuomo was talking about. Quad D told him not to fucking pass the legislation. So this notion that Biden didn't fucking push any border legislation or border action is, I think Mehdi Hasan grills him on this too. It's complete bullshit. It's fucking complete horseshit. He did push for fucking action on the border. And again, Biden walked into a disaster because it was the pandemic. There was a bunch of people fleeing from poor countries at the United States borders and ports of entry trying to get asylum. That's why he did have a boost in fucking numbers at the border during fucking 2021, 2022. That's fucking why. That's the only fucking reason why. That's the only reason why. I also do pin a lot of blame on Merrick Garland too. Yes, I agree with you.
Right to take action, not action I agree with, but the
Yeah,
Republican.
Lisa, that's the Border Security Act of 2024. Yeah, Langford, who was about as MAGA Oklahoma as they come, was one of the lead fucking writers of that bill.
Screwed him for political reasons.
They screwed him on that Senate bill. Yes, and we know it because they said it out loud. All right? Which to me would have been the biggest shock in recent history. To hear that out loud that way, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, exactly.
Second,
I wasn't shocked.
he could take issue, though. He could take issue right now with his own executive action. And would he be challenged in the courts?
Yeah.
Potentially, depends on what they architect. But even still, it would move the needle in his favor because he'd be trying, at least. But I don't know why they're playing it that way. So, that aside, I don't know what to fear of Donald Trump. And I know that many people say, but Chris, that's enough. That you don't know, but you know that he's going to do something.
Right, Loki?
That's enough. He has to lose.
Yeah, Mehdi Hassan was like on it. But like, what do you mean you don't know what you should be scared about with Quad D? He fucking told us.
And I say, okay, then beat him. I'm worried about the lawsuits because it looks like from the outside or from the person who's not as invested in the minutia as everyone who covers it, it does look like they're out to get him. That a lot of these cases, a lot of the counts...
Mehdi's shaking his head. Yeah, they're out to get him because he was breaking laws. No other fucking candidate in presidential history was just openly fucking potentially violating criminal laws. They weren't out to get him. It's called accountability. For a presidential candidate and a former president that was potentially breaking laws. So that's why Mehdi Hassan is fucking shaking his head right now.
Talking for about half an hour, this is the moment I've disagreed with you the most.
Please, I love it.
I'm of the exact opposite view. I am tearing my hair out at Merrick Garland, wishing we had an AG who was out to get Donald Trump.
Thank you. Arlene, I believe it was you that just mentioned Merrick Garland. I have the same fucking position. Merrick Garland did not act quickly enough. He fucked things up. That's one of the major reasons we got no accountability. As soon as that fucking Biden administration got in there, he should have been going to work. You're right, Randy, and he knew that. But also, if Merrick Garland had fucking worked more quickly, Mehdi Hassan, he's an author, he's a writer, he's had fucking TV shows, he's had radio shows, he is a American citizen, although he was born in the UK, but he's got citizenship in both places. Thank you, Classy Texas. By the way, one more pumpkin carriage up top. But Merrick Garland sat on his fucking hands, and then we didn't get shit.
Dude, I am tearing my hair out at Merrick Garland, wishing we had an AG who was out to get Donald Trump. Instead, we had an AG who slow walked the entire damn thing.
Yep.
Was way too cautious and small C conservative. He should have put an Elizabeth Warren in there. He should have put a Rottweiler into DOJ Biden. Instead, he
Yes. Thank you so much, Classes Texas. Thank you, Texas. Win Texas Shelley in the chat on the pumpkin carriage. I fucking do love that one. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Oh, y'all are fucking awesome in here. Thank you. We'll do like some handheld hearts. We'll get everybody going to the handheld hearts. We got 11 of them up there. Y'all are amazing. Yeah, I wish he would have put somebody in that was aggressive and wanted to fucking hold somebody, a fucking president, a presidential candidate that was potentially breaking laws accountable. We would probably be in a different place today. Amber, thank you.
Centrist Republican, let's all be cool.
Thank you,
by our
Obstinate.
friends
Thank you,
type,
Texas.
Who doesn't want to mention the Trump name, who wants to kind of avoid anything Trump related, as we know from a lot of the Washington Post reporting. And now we're finding out that the Southern District of New York has screwed over the Manhattan case. Again, many questions for Garland. So no, again, it's projection. When I hear Trump and the Republicans say, Garland's out to get us. Garland, this is a campaign, a witch hunt. I'm like, if only. I'm the guy saying, if only they were out to get him. If only they were single-minded in their pursuit of this guy who tried to overturn our government. It wasn't just a riot, as you suggested. So no, I don't know what it looks like to certain swing voters. But to me, who's been following this for years, tearing my hair out, wondering why they haven't taken more action, why Liz Cheney
Thank you,
did
Amber.
more to hold Donald Trump to account than the Democratic Attorney General. Yeah, I come from an exact opposite position. By the way, quick thing before I forget, it's been in my head for a bit. Do you believe in 2028, President Donald Trump just says, it's been great, see you later, guys, I'm off to play golf?
So now he's saying if Quad D won in 2024, do you think in 2028 he's just going to say, I'm done, I'm leaving? Now listen to Cuomo.
Maybe with a strong suggestion that the next one should be one of his kids.
Interesting. That's an interesting point. God help us all.
You know, I'm much more about understanding.
So I'll replay that question for you.
President Donald Trump just says, it's been great. See you later, guys. I'm off to play golf.
Maybe with a strong suggestion that the next one should be one of his kids.
Interesting. That's an interesting point. God help us all.
You know, I'm much more.
Canon, we knew that was going to happen, Lisa, because that was a Trump appointee. So we knew that was going to happen.
More about understanding the present than I am about any kind of sense of prognostication. Because to me, I reject the idea that it's a cult. I reject the idea that...
You reject the idea that the GOP is a cult?
Yes.
Cuomo is rejecting the idea that the GOP is a cult. I'm like, bro, how fucking clueless can you be? Mehdi Hasan is like, what? Like, what? This is crazy.
The idea, I think it's all about the two-party game.
Thank you,
and
Texas.
It's all zero-sum, and they want to win.
Thank you,
and
Texas.
That is the only goal in two-party politics is to win.
Then they wouldn't nominate Donald Trump.
He is the best chance to win. Nobody does better.
Chris. If they wanted to win, Nikki Haley would be the candidate.
So basically, Mehdi Hasan is just saying, like, if the best candidate would have been Nikki Haley. I'm not sure I fully agree with him there. But if you were going policy-wise and strategy and actually like a plan, you wouldn't have nominated Trump again. After he fucked our country up the first time, you wouldn't have fucking nominated him again. You did it because you're in a fucking cult, just like Mehdi Hasan said. Thank you, everybody on the handheld hearts. Thank you, Texas. Isn't that crazy? Are you back now? You're in it now, Viraj. Are you here? That's fucking weird. You're here. I just saw your comment. So Mehdi Hasan destroys him on this too, and then it's the end.
Polls suggest you wiped Joe Biden off the board. Why
Yes.
would you nominate the guy who lost in 22, 2020, and 2018?
So what he's saying is, why would you nominate the guy that lost essentially in two midterms? Because 2022, again, even though Biden was president, there was no red wave like all the fucking MAGAs predicted. And then obviously he lost to Biden in 2020. And then he lost the 2018 midterms were a disaster for the Republicans too. You forgot about Nikki, right?
Why would they nominate him?
Cult.
Because
it's a cult.
Fear what happens if they don't.
Yeah, fear
Cult.
is what happens to themselves.
Thank you,
because
Amber.
he runs a personality cult and he runs a mob-style movement.
Yes.
Some of these people fear for their own lives, Chris. This is the America we live in today.
Political lives. They fear he's going to
primary
They
physical
fear for their
lives.
safety and their family safety, right? Unless Mitt Romney's lied. Mitt Romney has gone on the record and said that members of Congress told him they couldn't vote for impeachment because they were worried that their children would be attacked. Their wives were getting death threats. Multiple House members have quit. That is America in 2021. Never happened in my lifetime. I believe in your lifetime, where people are having to quit politics because their own supporters might kill them or hurt them.
Look at what happened to Liz Cheney. She's about as fucking conservative Republican as you can get. Look what happened to Kinzinger. Look what happens to all these people that were Republicans, spoke out against Trump, and then have their lives threatened, ended their political careers. I could go on and on. Look at Mitt Romney. I could go on and on and on and on and on. It's a cult. That's the sign of a cult. You had fucking people. Amy Coney Barrett was one of Trump's fucking Supreme Court nominations. Because she started ruling against him and breaking with the conservative bloc, you had MAGA's own fucking voters, Trump supporters, claiming that Amy Coney Barrett was a DEI hire as an insult. That's how much of a cult this is. Amy Coney Barrett, who is also very fucking conservative, very fucking Republican. But because she started ruling against fucking Trump, and he said they're supposed to be on my team, she was getting threatened. Amy Coney Barrett. Cat Captain, thank you for the Go Popular. So I appreciate that. Win Cat Captain in the chat. Win Patty on the Starlight. Win Cat Captain. She has been falling in line in terms of the emergency orders. Yes.
The Orange Man. So, no, I think it is a cult, and that's the only way you can explain how. I'm not saying everyone's in the cult.
Listen
Because
to
clearly there are cynical members. There are people trying to get ahead in life. There are people who have,
Listen to this.
J.D. Vance is not in a cult. We know that J.D. Vance thinks Donald Trump is Hitler. We know that.
He said it. Mass Appeal, thank you so much for the Starlight. Remember, J.D. Chesterfield was one of the first fucking people to call fucking Trump Schmittler. Compare him. Now he's the vice president. Like Mehdi Hassan, though, said, he's not in the cult, he's a snake. That's essentially what he's saying. He knows political career-wise, being the VP to Trump can elevate his fucking political career. That Mehdi Hassan predicted so many fucking things here and didn't even know he was going to predict all these things. It's crazy.
I'm not saying everyone's in the cult. Chris, clearly there are cynical members. There are people trying to get ahead in life. There are people who have, put their, J.D. Vance is not in a cult. We know that J.D. Vance thinks Donald Trump is Hitler. We know that because he said so. We know that J.D. Vance backs Trump because it's
Expedience.
It's expediency. He could get the vice presidency and boost his career. He shouldn't be anywhere near a high office. So those people put to one side. But in general,
How fucking right on the money was Mehdi Hassan? His name is Mehdi Hassan. Mehdi Hassan. Hassan. Did he not fucking predict all this shit? Even with J.D. Chesterfield. This was before J.D. Chesterfield was the VP, by the way. Don, thank you so much for Let Him Cook. This motherfucker predicted everything, and Chris Cuomo is looking so stupid. He's looking very News Nation Republican. Nancy, he destroyed this.
Congress, the people out there in the base who worship Trump, who you've seen the clips and you've seen the polls and you've seen the focus groups that they will believe anything he says, that they will.
Isn't that exactly what I say every fucking day? You will believe anything he says, even though it doesn't make sense. None of what he says actually makes sense, and you still believe it. Used to be on CNN. Yeah, he was on MSNBC too. He had a gig, and they recently let him go. I think it was last fall. Yeah, this motherfucker's on the money. We talk about it every fucking day. You will believe. The crazy thing is that these Republicans, these MAGA Republicans, know that their base is dumb. They know that their base will believe everything. Everything. You still have MAGA Mike Johnson calling this a fucking Chuck Schumer government shutdown. It's the stupidest shit you could even think of, and MAGAs believe it. Chuck Schumer has no fucking power. He's not in the majority. He's not a majority leader. The Democrats don't have the numbers. And these people believe it. They're so ignorant, and the MAGA fucking officials know they're ignorant. Pam, thank you so much. They just love lying to them. Pam, I appreciate that so much on the roses. We need 3 more starlights. Y'all are doing amazing. Isn't it crazy? So anyway, I just had to play a portion. I'll let him finish. But Mehdi fucking cooked. He cooked.
I don't need any of them. I live in a place that he won. And a lot of the people
he
who are
cooked.
rational actors.
Thank you, Amber.
Who are in my life, like that I fish with, and that
and they're rational actors.
Thank you, loving
rational
critters.
actors, small businessmen, almost exclusively, some first responders, and they are not under the sway of Trump, except for one thing. And this is what I don't understand, why it isn't more of a motivational tool on the left.
Go on.
They are so I've learned 2 things. One, why do they dismiss his obvious flaws as someone they wouldn't want in their house, on their boat, or anything? Because they believe 2 things. One, it takes that kind of guy to deal with this kind of dirty system. And 2, they're all kind of like him enough.
Yeah,
so
that's what it is.
They don't get to judge Trump and tell these people, leads me to the second point. They are so outraged,
thank you, Candace,
hurt, disappointed, put in the pejorative that goes to emotional letdown, that you don't get to tell me that Trump isn't worthy when I find you unworthy. And everything is so stilted against me, culturally, endemically, systemically. You're so against me and for everybody else that this guy is the virus that I need. I don't worship him as a cure. He's a virus, and I'm going to inject him into the political corpus and make you motherfuckers sick. That's where their heads
I've met
are.
those people too. I've spoken to those people. It's interesting because you're dividing up the people now. So we're not talking about the people who turn up at the rallies in the red hats who say he's the king, the leader, we love him.
Some of them
he doesn't
do,
lie.
but I believe that they're supporting him the way I support the Jets. You know, that they are my team.
I get it. But you're
and they
talking
suck.
about the people who say, look, we know he's a liar. We
Yes.
know he's a bullshitter.
Yes.
But that's useful to us for whatever reason. So let's deal with
That's
that in a
the
couple
game.
of ways. So let me respond in two ways. Number one.
Crazy.
That's
Anyway.
why some of us supported Bernie
All right,
Sanders
Mr.
in
Gucci, thank you so
2016,
much. I just wanted to
because
fucking
that
play
anger is
that.
out there. It's bipartisan.
Because
You
Mehdi
can
Hassan cooked. He fucking predicted everything that was going to happen in terms of this president. I'm just going to call him Quad D. If Quad D attacking our Constitution, attacking our fucking liberties, attacking our ability to demonstrate, to march, consumer boycotts, all of that, putting yes men in, wanting to be a fucking authoritarian and autocrat. He predicted J.D. Chesterfield. He predicted fucking all of this. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I just shout out Mehdi Hassan. Like, he fucking crushed that. He crushed that. Anyway, let's get up to 225,000. Then I'm going to take a break. I really enjoyed this show with you today. I hope that didn't bore you. I thought it was a very enlightening interview, and he just absolutely fucking cooked Chris Cuomo. 42% believe Democrats are the reason it's shut down. Yeah, exactly. How is that so high? Mehdi, he makes appearances. One more thing I should show you on Mehdi Hassan. He roasted him on Charlie Kirk, too, a couple weeks ago. So I should play that clip, too. I mean, absolutely fucking roasted him. I should put that on right now. I'll put it on. He fucking roasted him. I'll put it on. He fucking went on, and Steve Cuccinelli was on. What's his name? Cuccinelli was on trying to make excuses for fucking Charlie Kirk, and I'll fucking put it on. He roasted him, because that's another clip I wanted to play for you. Here, this is great. He absolutely fucking roasted Cuccinelli. I'll play it. Cynthia, thank you so much. About how this phony Christian savior thing for Charlie Kirk was circulating at the time. I'll play it for you.
Different thinking. And third, the statistics tell us a different story. We see violence from both sides. You can look it up.
Mostly the right.
So the question is, what are we seeing in response to this? And what does it mean? Let's bring in Ken Cuccinelli,
No,
served
thank
as
you.
acting Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security in the first Trump administration, and Mehdi Hassan, founder and CEO of the media company Zeteo. And yes, Mehdi and I have been arguing on Twitter.
I think Mehdi is just doing like podcasts and shit right now and interviews. He was on MSNBC. He's written for The Intercept. He's written for the Huffington Post. He's written for a lot of different Al Jazeera. MSNBC, Peacock, he was on. So he does a lot of work with a lot of different organizations. But I think he had like a television show on MSNBC, which they canceled. I believe it was in November of 2023 or 2024. I don't remember which fucking year it was, but I do remember he was on there too. So now listen to him roast Cuccinelli and fucking Cuomo on Charlie Kirk.
I respect Mehdi. I don't care what happens on Twitter. He is always welcome to make his case. And anyone who thinks that I have any hostility towards him is making a mistake. Mehdi, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
All right. So let me start with you, Mehdi. How would you analyze what you're hearing in response to...
I don't know if he ever worked on CNN. You're talking about Mehdi? No, it doesn't show he worked on CNN. Chris Cuomo used to be on CNN. Now he's on News Nation. Mehdi, I don't see any work with CNN.
from the left?
From the left? I mean, just listening to the clips you played from the Trump administration, we're in a very dark moment. It's a very McCarthyite moment right now. I've been listening to your show. You made a lot of good points. The biggest point I think you've glossed over is the crackdown on free speech, this targeting of people for their views. I thought Charlie Kirk was supposed to be a free speech martyr. Why are the right using his death to crack down on free speech and American rights and go after this amorphous left? J.D. Vance lied today on the Charlie Kirk show when he said the statistics are clear that this is a left-wing problem. It's the exact reverse. Right, exact reverse. You look at the ADL Center for Extremism, which looked at
the ADL-CU, I believe it's called. ADL, what is it? The ADL Center for Extremism. Yeah, that's what I played on my show right after the Charlie Kirk. 75% of political violence over the last, how many fucking years? 2 decades, right-wing violence.
people killed by extremists between 2013 and 2022, 75% of them by the right.
Yep,
You look at
almost
the
2
University of
decades.
Maryland study
No,
that was
over
done
a
for their
decade.
terrorism center, which found that from 1948 to 2018, right-wing extremists more likely to carry out violence than left-wing extremists. You look at the head of the FBI.
That's called sources. He's listing the sources and the data like we do. That's why it's important. You counter bullshit with facts and data.
Donald Trump appointed Chris Wray, who said the number one domestic terror threat in this country comes from religious and racially motivated extremists, specifically white supremacists. You can keep going. The National Institute for Justice found that the majority of incidents since 1990, violent terroristic acts were right-wing extremists. The single biggest day of political violence, Chris, in our lifetimes in this country was January 6th, 2021, when right-wing extremists attacked the Capitol.
That's awesome,
police
Andy.
officers. They were ideologically motivated. You and I agreed it was an insurrection at the time. So it's bizarre for Vance to go on TV or go online and say the exact opposite of what both the official statistics say and the think tanks say. All of our evidence tells us. I mean, there was a Democratic lawmaker, Chris, I don't know how many times we have to say this, who was murdered in her home with her husband
Portman.
in June by a Trump supporter. And Donald Trump today said, who? When he was asked about it, he said, who?
So, Mehdi, one quick thing. I do not think January 6th was an insurrection. I thought that it was all kinds of
You said it at the
crimes.
time, Chris.
I just don't.
You called it an insurrection
never.
at the time. You did.
No,
I checked
I
your Twitter
never.
before
I
came
never
on air.
thought.
Okay,
Go
we'll have
ahead,
to
show it to me.
check
But
it afterwards.
I never thought that they were trying to take over the government.
Now, Mehdi has proof. I never said it was an insurrection. I can actually fucking pull this up, too, by the way. All over his fucking social media, Chris Cuomo called it an insurrection. All over his social media. I'll pull it up after we get done. I'll put it on the screen.
Direction is, but it doesn't matter. It was bad, but we're dealing with new bad stuff. That
But it was
is
political
active
violence.
murder.
We can
Now,
agree, right, Chris? It was political violence.
100%. It was political
Yeah.
violence, but this was a murder for what somebody was saying. Ken.
Well, they were trying to
and-
murder Mike Pence, Chris. They were trying to murder Mike Pence.
Well, but they.
I don't know,
they
Andy.
didn't. Those are just
Somebody
words.
on the right.
If you
That's a-
killed
that's a
somebody
bad
for
argument
saying
to say,
it,
'cause he got
you
a-
would have had a
hold on,
problem.
because he survived? Because Mike Pence survived an assassination attempt, it's fine?
Well, it's no assassination attempt. They never had hands on him. They didn't do anything to him.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't an attempt. They just had a noose out. Does anybody remember the sign of the noose that was out at the Capitol that day? Does anybody remember you remember seeing the noose? Do you remember the chants? You don't think if they could have gotten their hands on him, you don't think he would have been in trouble? You don't think if they got their hands on Nancy Pelosi, she would have been in trouble? Like, are you fucking serious? Are you serious? Isn't that fucking crazy?
Speech versus actions, okay? But Ken, speech
killing
versus
of a
actions.
Democratic lawmaker
So,
this summer. Murder.
yeah, Hortman was killed. 2 people were killed. Yes.
That was murder.
Go ahead,
and,
Ken.
And Charlie Kirk's killing was murder. Speech is not violence, which is something we hear a lot in the rhetoric about free speech. Violence is violence, and one of the reasons it's important.
I'm
to
with you,
reject
Cynthia.
The speech is
I don't like
violence, which
Cuomo
is
anymore either. He's full on Republican now.
one of the excuses I'm hearing an awful lot about excusing Charlie Kirk's murder is because then you devalue the significance on a moral basis of actual violence. And it's important, an opportunity
please.
for unity that I think still exists is for everyone to reject violence for political ends. Chris, you'll remember I said this over and over and over back in 2020 when I was the deputy secretary and cities across the country were burning. And then elected officials.
Here we go with the cities across America were burning. Name them. What cities were burning in America? And again, did you just hear the year he said? 2020. I love all the lies that these MAGAs play and these Republicans. Cities were burning in 2020. Who was the president in 2020? Who the fuck was the president in 2020? Wasn't it Quad D? If fucking cities were burning in 2020, why the fuck didn't your fucking administration do anything about it? That's how I know you're fucking lying. So he just let cities burn? What kind of fucking president is that? Didn't do a damn thing about it? Didn't send in the National Guard while these cities were burning? Why the fuck didn't he do it then when we had a real emergency? You would think if cities were burning, if he can call the National Guard in now when there's no emergency, You'd think he might have been able to call in the National Guard when there were emergencies, no? Like cities burning, I think, constitutes an emergency, no? This is why I say, you MAGAs, you love being fucking lied to and you believe everything. Everything. It's fucking crazy the shit that you believe.
Very accepting, frankly, and excusing. Some of them were helping in the form of bailing people out, violent protesters.
Exactly,
You even
Andy.
noted that early on in that process that these things don't always have to be peaceful, and I disagree. They do have to be peaceful. That's something
No, they don't. No, they don't. That's called civil disobedience. There are different ways you can go about it. Like if you go read some of Malcolm X's teachings versus Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., very different approaches. There's no fucking rule that it has to be peaceful. Legal. It doesn't have to be peaceful. You can create chaos and make people uncomfortable through demonstration. Exactly. That's called good trouble. Shout out John Lewis. That's the purpose of civil disobedience. Sit-ins, marches, demonstrations, maybe physically being in the streets, making it difficult for somebody to fucking violate the rights of citizens, right? There's no fucking rule that has to be peaceful, ever, as long as you're not fucking breaking any laws. There's no rule for that.
All, left and right, be able to agree on. It's still there to be a unifying point, the rejection of violence, which is something Charlie Kirk lived and died for.
Exactly, Granny.
People who actually watched him interact with people who disagreed with him, you and I are very passionate. Mehdi's obviously very passionate. Charlie was incredibly level in how he communicated with people. He was firm.
Yeah, he just said horrible things. You can be level and say insulting, disgusting, grotesque things about other human beings. That's what he did.
But he never got angry. He didn't call people names. He respected them. He told them
he called people names. He called groups of people names. He sure did.
them. And frankly, it's
Yes.
a model for all of us, left and
No,
right,
it's not.
to emulate, not the violence.
And Mehdi's going to grill him on this, too.
Well, I don't know about emulating everything about it, but that's not the point. Two quick things, and then back to you, Mehdi. The first thing is that I never said
Thank you,
that
Trish.
protests aren't supposed to be peaceful. I know what the First Amendment is. What I said was at the time when the protests first started,
Thank you, Trish.
there was so much pushback against the speech. What are they saying? They're saying things at cops. They're saying the ugliest things, the worst things. And I said, what do you think they're going to do? Sing slave hymns and then go home? You know, nobody ever said it's going to be peaceful out there. They're going to say a lot of things that are going to bother you. That's the price of our freedom and our democracy in this country. That was my point. Now, Mehdi, the idea of, is it time, place, and manner that, hey, I condemn this. This is unacceptable what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Mehdi
But
he crushes
He said a lot
this.
of things that were fill in the blank of extremist and abhorrent things.
Thank you,
Why
Kathy.
put those together right now?
So, Chris, I'm glad you asked me that question. It's a perfect timing because, with respect to Ken made a very good point about rejecting violence. I agree with Ken. The problem, of course, is that Ken's former boss, Donald Trump, pardoned a bunch of politically violent people earlier.
Yeah. How can the right stand up against political violence and Quad D fucking pardon 1,500 of these criminals? One, which was just rearrested today and charged with a T Group act threatening Hakeem Jeffries, saying that he wanted to unalive Hakeem Jeffries today. How can you say you condemn political violence and then pardon 1,500 fucking criminals that engaged in political violence? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, one who just threatened to unalive Hakeem Jeffries last night. That's being arraigned on Thursday, this week. It doesn't make any sense. This is why I say MAGAs don't stand for anything. CJ Love, thank you so much for the good afternoon. One of them got unalived, too, by law enforcement, Karen, another criminal.
He's even dangled pardons in front of the kidnappers.
So did Joe Biden.
The attempted, I'm not here to defend Joe Biden.
No, Joe Biden did not pardon 1,500 J6ers, so no, incorrect. Ken Cuccinelli, that did not happen with Joe Biden. Wrong.
But Donald Trump pardoned a bunch of political extremists who attacked the Capitol. And he's also, Chris, dangled pardons in front of the people who wanted to kidnap and maybe kill Gretchen Whitmer, like horrible political extremists. He's talked about pardoning them as well. So that's a real problem. And we need the president, as you said in your introduction, to really lead on this and use this killing of his friend to say, you know what, all of us tone it down. This is a president.
And he didn't do that.
Scum, vermin, animals. You know, Chris, better than me what he's called his political enemies, including you. So that's what we need from the president. We're not getting it from the president. We're getting more kind of talk of pardons. The other issue which you asked about Charlie Kirk. Look, I differ from you on this, Chris, and this is what we argued on Twitter. I think public figures are not private figures. I think public figures, when they die, of course we should be respectful to their families. I've said time and again that it breaks my heart to think about what his children are going through, what his widow is going through. It's horrific what happened to him. I can't even watch that video. I refuse to watch that video of what happened to him. But he's a public figure. I'm a public figure. Chris, you're a public figure. When we die, people are going to look at what we said and say, well, I agreed with him on this, I agreed with him on that. And the problem is Ken and the right are trying to almost deify him. What Ken just said is not true, that Charlie never called for violence, that Charlie was devil. Charlie called for me to be deported from America because he didn't like a monologue I did on COVID. He called for Joe Biden to be executed by death penalty.
Did you just hear that? Charlie Kirk called for the former president Joe Biden to be unalived by unalive penalty. This was not a nonviolent fucking person that promoted free speech being peaceful. He was the opposite. That's why I say MAGAs love being lied to. They don't give a fuck about truth or facts. In fact, they don't even fucking research the facts. I know part of that is they're illiterate, but I'm just saying they don't even attempt to have like an audible version read to them. There's no effort. And that's why I love this Mehdi Hassan. He calls it out.
He's a public figure. I'm a public figure. Chris, you're a public figure.
Thank you, CJ Love. Thank you, Master
Peel. Said and said, well, I agreed with him on this, I agreed with him on that. And the problem is Ken and the right
I'm serious,
are trying
lady.
to almost deify him. What Ken just said is not true, that Charlie never called for violence, that Charlie was devil. Charlie called for me to be deported from America because he didn't like a monologue I did on COVID. He called for Joe Biden to be executed by death penalty. We can go down the list. I know you don't want to hear. Let's not make this a Charlie Kirk rhetoric thing. But I don't know what else to say. When I hear Ken saying things that I think are untrue, then I have to respond. You know me, Chris, it's in my nature. I have to respond and say, well, that's not true.
I'm with you, Big
Here
D.
are the facts. Just last week, the day before he died, the day before he was brutally murdered, he said that Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. I don't think that's rhetoric that people should be emulating. I find that deeply offensive. Obviously, it doesn't justify killing him. Nothing justifies killing him. But please don't tell me that he was a level-headed person who never insulted or abused anyone. That's just not true. He asked for people to post bail on the guy who attacked Paul Pelosi in his home, a violent extremist, Trump supporter, election denier, who attacked Paul Pelosi in his home, is now in prison for attempted murder. Charlie called for bail to be posted for him by an American hero. So that's the kind of rhetoric I don't think we need.
Yep. So I just had to play that with you because Mehdi Hassan is just owning Chris Cuomo for at least a year now. And Ken Cuccinelli can't even respond to that shit. Those are facts. This is how you shut people up that fucking lie. It's great. It's beautiful. So I just had to share that with you. All right, folks, let's get up to 240,000 likes. We need about 4 more. Good afternoons. If anybody wants to help out, then I'm going to sign off for the afternoon. I appreciate that. I might just take a break now, and I'll come back in like 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. Deal? What's up, Melissa? Thank you, Tiff D, for the good afternoon. Deal? Y'all were awesome today. I appreciate that. Will today's show be on Work Interrupted My Listening on Tube of the Y? Yeah, I'm going to post yesterday's show and today's show on Tube of the Y. Go listen. If you are not following my Tube of the Y channel, go to my bio page and follow it. The link is right on there. Auntie, thank you so much. Pammy, thank you so much for the super. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, Tiff D. Thank you, everybody, for being in here. Thank you for the taps. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the gifts. We only got, 3 more things left in the gallery. Thank you for all the beautiful pumpkin patches and the pumpkin carriages and the love. I appreciate you. I am so grateful. I never take you for granted. Patty, thank you. Marissa, thank you. Everybody in here was amazing. I don't give a fuck. Everybody was fucking awesome today. So I appreciate you so much. We will see you tomorrow. Everybody that's a new follower too. Thank you. Make sure you consider being a super fan too. Tiff D, thank you. Lisa, thank you. We're going to do some super fan only chat lives too. So that means you'll only be able to type in the chat box when you are a super fan. So make sure you get that straight. We'll see you tonight. We'll hang out. We'll watch some sports. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you for the taps. I never take you for granted. Without you, there is no African kingdom. So thank you so much. If I don't see you tonight, I will see you tomorrow. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Lions, great game last night. And we'll see you later, okay? 2 hours, I'll be back. Like 6:15, 6:30-ish Arizona time. I'll be on for a good hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we'll call it, okay? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See you tonight, okay? Peace. Love y'all. Thank you, everybody. Great show today. Hope I didn't bore you with those interviews. They were just important. So I love y'all. Hope you got some great information today. We went through the issues. If you need to catch the replay, it'll be on the Tube of the Y show, okay? Love y'all. See you in 2 hours. Thank you, everybody, for all you do.